Biswaroop International Healing and Research Sendrian Berhad, in collaboration with Silver Star Global Resources Sendrian Berhad, in the West and East Malaysia, that is Sabah and Sarawak, Singapore, Brunei, Thailand, is organizing trainings, online, virtual and residential tours. God's greatest blessing to mankind. I, Silvarani, would like to share the greatest gift of God to mankind. Dr. Biswaroop Roy Chowdhury, the man born into this world to show us the right kind of food for all kinds of diseases such as high cholesterol, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart diseases, kidney diseases and other diseases. Food as medicines for all our sicknesses. The training which Dr. Biswaroop gave us for 2 hours in Dynasty Hotel, Kuala Lumpur is only the basics. Before taking part in the virtual program, which is part and parcel of the above training, we must remember that food intake into one's body differs from one person to another according to the diseases or combination of diseases. The virtual program encompasses the following virtual tours. Diabetes virtual tour, 3 days online program. Heal at home virtual tour, 3 weeks online program. Residential tour, 3 days stay in program. In the following the above online program, all we have to do is to send in our medical reports. Dr. Biswaroop's team, which comprises of doctors in New Delhi, will tailor and structure our food intake according to our respective body structure, weight and diseases that we are suffering from. They will monitor and contact us via Skype, WhatsApp and email.
We welcome each and every one of you for this talk, for this seminar on curing diabetes, this reversal program. Just about Dr. Biswaroop, who hails from Hyderabad, India. So he comes here with a very good news for everyone who have diabetes or heart problem or any other sicknesses, how to reverse this within few days. Like diabetes, you can reverse within 72 hours. And he have beautiful books written, e-books as well. Books written, you can actually get them online. And no products are actually sold. It's only a talk, how you monitor your life and guide your life accordingly. There was a professor, if you can see in this book, it's written about this professor, Samar Dakarappa. He's a 57-year-old professor. He had diabetes for 15 years. Within 72 hours, he stopped using insulin jab. He's a very famous professor in India, and all the testimonials are here. And doctor gives a very good sharing or seminar or training on diabetes, as well as many other things. In the last 15 months, he has cured 5,000 people of diabetes. Last 15 months, 5,000 people of diabetes. He has been in the service for 10 years. Thousands of people have been cured, but the recorded in the last 15 months were 5,000 people. So we encourage you to listen to this talk. Pay attention, the notes, you can take down the notes as it's given, it's in your file, and just have a great time today and a great day for you to be cured of your diabetes. So let's put our hands together. We welcome Dr. Biswaroop Roy Chowdhury.
Am I audible to all of you? And visible also? There are two most important things. If you can say yes to these two questions, I can tell you in advance, there is no reason that why you will take insulin, why you will take medication, right? Just now you saw my introduction that about 5,000 people I have cured, but the word cure itself is a questionable word, because you've been hearing since the time you heard diabetes that there is nothing called cure, only you can control it, you can manage it, you can reverse it at the most. So similarly, in this next 2 hours, you will find many things which will be in contradiction with what you know, your conventional common sense. It is not necessary that you accept everything what I say, but important is you must question. So in this talk, I divided in two parts. Part 1, the training part. Part 2, the question answer round. That is the more important. So in this training, when you have some question or any doubt which you are not agree with me, just write it somewhere in the paper, so that by the end of the talk you don't forget that. And then it's your responsibility to ask, argue, right, confront, right. So those things I am expecting, and only then when you are satisfied, then you accept it, and then only you follow it. It is your responsibility to be healthy. Nobody else is responsible. In this world, nothing in this world can destroy your happiness more than you're trying to live with the illness, more than you're trying to live with the sickness. So here my goal is diabetes cure in 3 days. I'm not just saying diabetes cure, I'm just including 3 days. So 72 hours precisely. Why I'm saying it at the very first? Because it is a warning for you. Many of my patients, when they attend these kind of training, they try to take the middle path. Okay, I will do what the doctor is saying. Along with that, to be safer, I will continue with the insulin or the medication. So here, the concept is food as medicine. This means whatever you are going to do, that becomes a medicine. But you are not discontinuing the conventional common, those medicine which you have been taking. This means you are taking double dose. So if you take double dose of medicine, that will result in hypoglycemia. Right? So that is another fatal kind of thing. So I gave the warning, it is a kind of warning that if you start with this, this means you are forced to stop or taper the medication which you have been taking, not just of diabetes, but also of hypertension, high cholesterol, etc. as well. Those are the part of the training. I will train you up for that. Heart attack proof in 3 steps. what we must do right now so that we are protected from the heart attack. Certainly we can do something, right? So that we are going to understand. So most important thing is what is diabetes to start with. If I want to confuse you what is diabetes, I have many ways to do it. Impaired glucose tolerance, impaired fasting glucose, pre-diabetes, fasting plasma glucose, intermediate hyperglycemia, postprandial glucose, you can see, then diabetes type 1, then type 2, then something called diabetes type 3, and now a new thing comes, diabetes type 1.5 also, right? So, and every now and then you will find one new addition to the family of diabetes. So, and then if you want to understand each one of them, it will take the whole life, right? But if I want to simplify it, it is in 2 steps. Are you sick? Are you taking medication or you are not taking any medication? 2 kind of people. Somebody who is to manage, they are taking some medication, or they are not taking any medication. That is something simple. So if you fall in this group, taking medication, insulin, etc., you want to go to this. So that will be simpler, and you will be able to understand it. Now, first of all, what is diabetes? We know diabetes is not a disease in itself. Diabetes simply means high sugar in the blood. Diabetes means higher level, not high, higher level of sugar in the blood. So that is called diabetes. And the problem is, when in the blood high level of sugar is there, higher level of sugar is there for a long time, that is a burden on heart, on kidney, on liver, especially on eyes. As a result of that, those organs, they die faster than the patient or the person itself. So this means we want to live longer, we have to make the optimum level of sugar in the blood. Now the question is, how much sugar should be called as high sugar? So it had been known that those people who are having higher sugar level in their blood, they tend to have more heart disease, tend to have more kidney failure, tend to have more sick than those who are having optimum sugar level. For example, somebody is having normal sugar level, they still have 20% chance of heart attack, dying of heart disease. Those who are having higher sugar level, they have 22% chance of dying of heart disease. Only 2%. So the 2% chances of reducing the chances of dying of heart disease, that management is called diabetes management. That 2%. Again the question is, how much high is actually high? This was not known before 1979. Before 1979, it was only known higher sugar means more disease, low sugar, less disease. But what is the cutoff? So for the first time in 1979, the cutoff was given by National Diabetes Data Group. That is, anybody having blood sugar more than 200 mg per deciliter. But I think in Malaysia, you talk in millimole per liter. You're comfortable in millimole per liter. Yeah? Okay. So when I go to Vietnam, they are comfortable in both. In India, it is mg per deciliter, but here it is millimole per liter. So that translates to 11.1 millimole per liter, right? 200 means 11.1 millimole per liter. So that I will explain what it exactly means. But in 1997, American Diabetes Association, they coined a term, fasting sugar, means in empty stomach early in the morning, the sugar level, that is 126 mg per deciliter, or if I translate for you, that becomes 7 millimole per liter. This means if it is more than 7 early in the morning, then also you are a diabetes patient. Then you see 2003, the history, that 126 became 100, that is equivalent to 5.6 millimole per liter. It is dropping down and down. And then in 2010, instead of 1 diagnostic characteristic, they coined 3. That means after eating food, waiting for 2 hours, and then you check your blood sugar, it should be less than 7.8 millimole per liter, or here 140. In empty stomach, it should be 7 or 100, right? And then there is a third trap, I call it trap, HbA1c 5.6, right? So this means if you go to any hospital and you want to test that whether you're a diabetes patient or not, you will be tested for these 3, and if you are not able to satisfy any one of them, still you will be a diabetes patient. Any one of them, still. This means what you can expect, as the diagnostic criteria is being made smaller and smaller, more number of people, they came under the preview of being called as diabetes. So one interesting experiment was done by in China. It was published in Journal of American Medical Association in 2013. 2013 they wanted to know how many Chinese are diabetes patients. But for that, they took the criteria of 1979, right? That is 11.1 millimole per liter. If that is the standard, then how many people will be called diabetes patient in China in 2013? And that is precisely 3.5%. This means out of every 100 people, only 3 will be termed as diabetes patient. But then if they adopt the criteria of 1997, it will jump to 8%. If they adopt the criteria of 2003, it will become 27%. And if they adopt the current diagnostic criteria, then more than half of China is diabetes patient. So try to understand, put your own common sense and logic. It's like, imagine, for example, in your school, that small boy, how much is the passing percentage? In my school, when I was a child, it was 35%. Any child getting more than 35%, they are passed to next class. One day in the principal, in a dream, he found something. He said, no, today onwards, anybody getting more than 80% will only pass, less than that is failed. What will happen? More and more people will fail. And more and more children will fail. And the message will go in the masses, these days children fail so much. But the truth is, the intelligence of the child is at the same level, only the rules are changed. That is what you have seen. About 15 years back, think for a while, think back, 15 years back, you really have to put your brain and think hard to find one diabetes patient. But now, can you find any family where there is no diabetes patient? So, we have to understand why the epidemic happened, right? I'm not saying there is nothing called diabetes. I'm just saying that why the number is increasing at an exponential level. Same is the case with blood pressure as well. Okay, if I ask a simple question, what should be the standard blood pressure beyond which we call a hypertension, high blood pressure? Anybody? 120 by 80. Wherever I go, whichever country, whichever city, and whichever audience, even small children sometime, I ask the question, even a child of 10 years say 120 by 80, as any doctor will say. Then I ask the principal how he learnt. Is it a part of the syllabus? No. How he know? When I was in 12th or in 10th, at that time, had I asked, anybody asked me what is the standard blood pressure or what is the glucometer or what is standard blood sugar, we were just blank. But now even a small child can say 120 by 80. So, and that is not a part of the school curriculum as such. Anyway, now I got the answer 120 by 80. Had I asked this question 15 years back, answer would have been 160 by 100. This means 15 years back, had you gone to the hospital to check your blood pressure, and if it is 159 by 99, you are a healthy person. But then, as you could see here, 1997 onwards made 140 by 90. Now you are saying 120 by 80. Within few months is going to be 115 by 75. This means anybody who is going to the hospital will come back as a hypertension patient. Only those people will be termed as healthy who will never go to diagnose the blood pressure. Only they are called, because virtually you cannot have a blood pressure less than this. And if you have a blood pressure less than this, that is sickness, low blood pressure. So either you are a low blood pressure patient or you are a high blood pressure patient, right? So you cannot be healthy. This means the medical science has progressed so much, there is hardly any healthy person living, right? So more than this is hypertension, less than this is low blood pressure. This means you have to manage exactly 115 by 75. Or right now 120 by 80 exact. If it is 121, it is a high blood pressure. If it is little low, it is low blood pressure, right? So similarly in diabetes, either pre-diabetes or diabetes. Pre-diabetes means you will become a diabetes patient. For that you are taking the same medicine which otherwise you will take when you become a diabetes patient. So most of the people, they confuse, they don't know what is pre-diabetes. Pre-diabetes is nothing. Pre-diabetes just means that someday you can be diabetes patient. And that is true for everybody. Even for me. Someday I can be diabetes patient. Someday I can be anything. right? But on the basis of that, should I take a medicine? So here, first we have to understand whether we are a diabetes patient or not at the very first place. So either yes, then what to do? If no, then you need not to do and need not to worry. So start with to know whether I am a patient or not. If I go to the doctor right now, if you go to the doctor right now in Malaysia or in India or in any other country like in Dubai or in Kuwait, in Singapore, right, in Hong Kong, this is the criteria which is internationally followed, being given by American Diabetes Association. Now, if I ask you a simple question, this criteria, what do you think, what do you expect from where they might have got it? You might be imagining the thousands of millions of dollars the scientists might have spent on thousands and thousands of people over a period of long years, and then they collated and collected all those data and then they came out with this. That's what the logical thinking, isn't it? Had you ever given a thought that from where this figure has come? So this is something maybe it's not our job to find. There must be a group of scientists in thousands. They might be doing brainstorming for years, spending a lot of money, and then finally they come out with a magical figure, 140 or 100, whatever you could see, right? Or in millimole 7 or 5.6, right? That is if it is 100. Interestingly, when they first time, 2004, American Diabetes Association, they suggested this kind of guideline, they were asked one question: from where you got the guideline? What is the evidence, right, which made you believe that this should be the guideline to diagnose diabetes? They answered in their journal, Diabetes Journal, their own journal, and their answer was, we don't know. Their answer. We think that this should be the guideline, but there is no evidence. From where you will get the evidence? Let's see how the patient they do, and then we'll collect that, and then one day we'll see whether this is workable or not, or we'll change and do something else. So try to understand the most important thing, the guideline on which you are depending, that itself is having no basis. And that is being reported in their own journal. If you want a copy of this article, you have a feedback form, right? In that you can mention, I want to read the complete article, I can send you. Otherwise, lowering the cutoff point for impaired fasting glucose. If you Google it, you will see, you will go to American Diabetes Association site and then you can get it, right? If not, then I can provide you, right? So, if you want to be healthy, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility, nobody else is responsible, right? So, now, the final thing is, what is the right guideline? How to know whether I am a diabetes patient or not, right? So, among all the guidelines, so starting with the beginning, 1979, that is 200. For the first time, it was 200 was quoted. What 200 means? It is 11.1. millimole per liter. For the first time when the guideline came in the world, it was anybody having blood sugar less than 11.1 millimole per liter is not a diabetes patient. Anybody more than that is a diabetes patient. Simple rule. Now, again the same question comes, from where this figure came 11.1 millimole per liter. Right? That is the question which you must ask. That is, the National Diabetes Data Group, they followed a group of patients, about 5,000 or 6,000 patients. They made a group and they regularly checked their blood sugar. That's all. Did nothing but check the blood sugar of a mass. The mass called Pima Indians. Those who are having the tendency to have higher sugar. And they kept a data of those 5,000-6,000 Pima Indians for 6 to 7 years. And they collected and they realized one important thing. Those who are having blood sugar more than 200, they are the one who are having more heart attack, they are the one who are having more retinopathy, they are the one who are more sick. So from there they thought, okay, 200, those who are having blood sugar less than 200, they are having less heart disease, less heart attack, less retinopathy and less sickness. So from there the number came 200. Now one question could be, why it is exact 200? Why not 201? Why not 199? How can be, is it a coincidence the exact 200? It is not a coincidence. Actually, exact figure 200, it is more memorable to the people. Right? Had it been saying 222, right, or 248, so that is something which you will not remember. To make it simpler, it is made 200. But in reality, the number was 227. This means those who are having blood sugar less than 227, right, that translate to 12.7 millimole per liter, right? 12.7 millimole per liter. Those who are having blood sugar less than 12.7 millimole per liter, they are not a diabetes patient. They are not at a risk of any heart disease or any kidney failure or a retinopathy, etc. They are healthy individuals. Those who are having a blood sugar more than 12.7, they are the one who are having higher chances of retinopathy, higher chances of respiratory disease. So the figure is, the actual figure, that is 12.7. But how? Okay, I ask you a simple question. When you check the blood sugar, how do you do it? You take a glucometer, step 1, then you take a blood sample. From where you take the blood sample? From the finger or from the veins? Fingers. These results are from the blood sample taken from the veins at a clinical setup. But you don't have a habit of taking it from the veins. You are having a habit of taking from the finger. Interesting thing. The finger tend to have higher sugar deposit than the veins. The sugar circulate and they accumulate in the fingers. So either you change your habit, you take the blood sample from the vein, number 1, or assume that if it is in the finger, it is having, you tend to get a higher reading. How much higher? You experiment today, once you go back home. 10% more. 10% more reading. So today you can do one thing, you take two samples, one from the finger, capillaries, one from the vein. Whatever will be in the vein, 10% more will be in the finger. This means, if you still want to do it from the finger, add 10% more to 12.7 millimole per liter. And that comes out to be roughly 14. This means the standard of blood, whether to your diabetes patient or not, step 1, you eat whatever you want to eat, a lot. Then wait for 2 hours. Step 2, now take the blood sample from the finger. If the reading is less than 14, no diabetes, need not to worry. If it is more than 14, you have to check to see that how to bring it down. So that is the reasonable and evidence-based thing. And that is this, as you could see, 250 in milligram per deciliter, or for you in millimole, what is the number? 14. That is the number which is having the evidence. Now what about the fasting? One common thing, those who have been checking their blood sugar, fasting should be less than postprandial or more than postprandial? Less. So the logic is, automatic logic is, we eat in the night, let's say, and then wait for 2 hours, then we check the blood sugar. Let's say at that time the blood sugar is 14. Now the whole night you don't eat, but the body is working, it is absorbing the sugar, utilizing, metabolizing the sugar. This means early in the morning when you get up, you check the blood sugar, you expect it less than that or you expect it more than that? Less than. Because body is utilizing the sugar but you are not adding to it. So logically you should have less sugar or less reading in the morning. Had it been in the night, the last reading was 14, in the morning it should be at least 13 or 12 or something, isn't it? But interestingly, the body do not behave the way you expect it to behave. In the many of my patients, 50% of my patients, 50%, not 5%, 50% of the patients, they report to me, say the doctor, I checked in the night, it was 13, which is less than what you recommend for diabetes. I was happy, but early in the morning I checked, it became 15. I say that maybe in the night, while in the dream you might have gone and ate something. Right? Then he said, no doctor, I'm serious, it happened with me. And it happened quite often, that in the night I see it is less, but early in the morning it is higher. Right? So that is something dangerous. Now, interesting thing, why it is higher in the first place? And that to do 50% of the population. That is, early in the morning, 50% of us, our brain is considerate. Brain knows that you are going to get up and now you may not eat once you get up, but you finish some important things, talking to the friend, deciding the meeting, doing the necessary things, and cooking the breakfast. During that time, your body needs a lot of energy, right? So brain gives a signal to the liver. Liver is always having some stored sugar, as you know. and brain say that this person chap is going to get up now, so 10 minutes before, liver release some sugar so that it can help you to do the job, right, before you actually take the breakfast. So your body is considerate, right, cooperative. So to manage your task, it is participating, and you unknowingly call it a diabetes patient, right? So this, if this happens to you, you are among the 50% or 55% of the world population. It happens to more than 55% of the world population, and it is given a term. It is called dawn phenomena. Dawn phenomena is not a disease. Something which is happening to more than 50% of the world population cannot be called as disease. Right? This means half of the earth is sick. Right? For half of the earth, fasting is more than postprandial. For more than half of the earth. I am talking the healthy individual. You take any random 10 people and you take the last reading in the night, and now you take the next day morning reading. Out of 10 people, healthy random people, 5 of them may have higher sugar in the morning in comparison to that of the night. So what I mean to say, the fasting is misleading. It can be less, it can be more, depending on your brain and liver, what they decided for you. Right? So let that decision be to the brain only. Don't interfere in its activity by expecting something else. Right? So the expectation that my reading should be this only, then I believe that I am healthy. That is very dangerous. Right? So people may feel healthy, but say, doctor, first show that reading, only then I'll believe. It's like, these days you have a Google map, right? You have to reach to a famous destination. Have you gone to Taj Mahal in India? Yeah, you've seen Taj Mahal. So you set the Google map for Taj Mahal, and it is guiding left, right, go straight 2 kilometers, and finally you reach to the Taj Mahal. This is Taj Mahal. You could see it, you could touch it, and you ask people, they say, yeah, look, it is Taj Mahal. But the Google map is saying, no, 2 kilometers away. So you will say, no, I will believe the Google map. Then what you will do, you go 2 kilometers away and then try to find Taj Mahal there. Isn't it? So try to understand, diagnosis is not important. Important is how you are feeling. That is the more important than diagnosis. Diagnosis is having importance. I am not saying that Google map is not required. But I am saying, don't be over dependent on technology. Your technology cannot be more advanced than your own body. Your body is also having a technology. It is giving you some signals. So the signal, what you see, what you feel, when you touch, when you smell, when you taste, that technology you already have. Right? And the secondary is what the reading is saying. Secondary. Right? Reference. But that should not be the sole thing on which you can over depend, or you can depend even. You check your blood sugar 2-3 times together. You do one experiment today. Take the blood sample from all the 5 fingers. And all of them will have different. Entirely different. One will have 6, one will have 12, one will have 10, one will have 14. But interestingly, you have not done ever. Then which finger you believe? Now do one more experiment. Take the sample from the right hand and the left hand. Right hand will have more reading than left hand, those who are right-handed. Right? Which one you will believe? So don't be over dependent on the diagnosis, but the important diagnosis is how I am feeling. Let's say sugar level is normal, but you are not feeling good. The doctor will say, you are healthy. Believe it. But you will say, doctor, I am in pain. No. There is no pain. There is no reading, is not showing pain. In fact, there is nothing in this world, no instrument which can show that there is some pain. There is no calculator, there is no equipment for that. Only you can tell. Right? So have faith in yourself rather than having faith in some technology. So here, even the current guideline, the kind of guideline which you follow, these guideline is being not accepted by World Health Organization, European Diabetes Epidemiology Group. It is being only given by American Diabetes Association. Right? So the current guideline which you have been following is again questionable guideline. Right? As it is not accepted by even World Health Organization. Now, who is ADA? It seems to be more powerful than World Health Organization. Right? ADA is suggesting something. Even WHO is rejecting it. In spite of that, in Malaysia, I see, in India, wherever I go, go to as many as 10 countries, I see people and doctors are more inclined towards following ADA guideline than what WHO is saying. So what is ADA? You must understand. You go to the website of ADA, American Diabetes Association, and you'll find that is an association being funded by these companies, controlled and funded by these companies. Now you tell me, which are these companies? These are the same people who sell you the drugs, and their sole objective is to increase their profitability. And that can happen only when the whole world is sick, or at least they should believe that they are sick, right? Okay, I'll give you one concrete example, if that is not sufficient. What food a diabetes patient must eat, right? A book, American Diabetes Association, they have released a book, Food for Diabetes Patient. And you must buy that book. I have bought the book with the hope that it will have some idea. This is the book, Healthy Fast Food for Diabetes Patient. And if I open the first page, it is giving the reading, the Baskin Robbins, Domino Pizza, KFC, McDonald's, right? The first page, right? And then you will find inside that how much cost and where are the shops all over the world, from where, and if not, how to order online and what quantity you should order. Every day how you can have different kind of new flavors, right? So just imagine, right, logically, what they intend. They intend that the world should remain diabetic patient, right? So only then this kind of book can come. And also, you'll find a lot of advertisement in American Diabetes Association website, and they support Cadbury's and all this chocolate industry. The website is full of these advertisements. So if we are a little bit logical, we need not to science oriented, just a logical, a sensible, we can easily understand that what we must follow, what we must not. Right. So here to start with, what we have to do from now onwards. We have understood a little bit, but once you go back home today, what should the first step, second step, third step? I'll give you an example of one of the most or the biggest trial, the medical trial in diabetes. It's called Accord trial. Accord trial in 2001 or 2003, it was initiated, and it was meant for 6.5-year trial. About 10,000 diabetes patients from three countries, they participated in the trial: Canada, UK and US. And the scientists, they divided the patient in two groups. Group 1, those who are following all the instructions by the doctor, those who are keeping their blood sugar under control with a higher dose of medicine. How much under control? That is about less than 7.8. Those who are keeping the blood sugar, and even the HbA1c, they are managing it. Every month they give a doctor visit, and they are following every instruction given by the doctor. Very sincere patient. And group B, again 5,000 patient, equally diabetic patient, and they also happen to go to the doctor, but most of the time they forget to take the medicine. Not disciplined patient. And they were following, the scientists were following these two groups for about 6.5 years. And they intend to show the result. Look, this group is very sincere, disciplined, following all the instruction, keeping the blood sugar low. They are more healthier than the group who are not following the instruction. And that will give a message to the audience, to the masses, that if you're a diabetic patient, take it seriously, right? By the time it was 3.5 years of observing that, something strange happened. The group who are following all the instruction by the doctor, keeping the blood sugar really low, among them 22% more patient died. More death in group A. And then abruptly the scientists had to cut short that trial, and they finally came out with the conclusion. The conclusion in a simple term means, if you want to cure yourself, or if you want to remain healthy for the diabetes patient, the rule is don't follow what the doctor is saying. So something it is there, Accord trial, right? So 2008 report. It is one of the very famous, and it is with the most number of people, diabetic people, the biggest trial. Respected trial, came in all major journals. Now, evidence-based guidelines. Evidence-based guideline, to my knowledge, what I have seen, that is the reading less than 14 is called diabetes, more than 14 is called no diabetes, and more than 14 is diabetes. That is where you will find the evidence. And rest of the thing is being created by American Diabetes Association, which you can clearly ignore. Now coming to today, or what you do for 24 hours, you don't take any medicine. And then for insulin people, I'll tell you afterwards, after some time, but you don't take any medicine, and without the influence of any medicine, then you check your blood sugar. If it is still coming under 14, then you are not a diabetes patient, you were wrongly diagnosed. That means that what I am going to say now, even if you do not follow, it's okay, because you are not a patient at the very first place. You were wrongly diagnosed as a diabetes patient. But those who stop their medicine for 24 hours and then check their blood sugar, and it happens to come more than 14, this means they were correctly diagnosed and they were really diabetes patient. So for them, what they have to do to remain healthy and to remain drug free, free of 3 Ds, diabetes, drugs and doctors as well. How to do that, right? So that I'm going to discuss right now. Here, first of all, this 250 mg per deciliter, or if I translate in millimole, it becomes 14 millimole per liter, whichever way. So when it is more than that, what it really means, you have to really understand that. If you understand that, then you understand the solution as well. I'll make you understand. Okay, I'll give my example. Now, my body weight is about 70 kg. If I take out all my blood and put in this bottle, I assume it is 1 liter bottle, assumption. So I have my body, in my body about 5 liter blood is there. How many bottles I'll need to fill all the bottles with my blood? If it is 1 liter bottle, 5 bottles, right? Assume it is 1 liter. In Malaysia there is nothing called 1 liter. In India we get 1 liter bottle, right? So assume it is 1 liter. So I need 5 bottle of this kind of 1 liter to fill the blood of my body, which is about 5 liter. Now I take a drop of blood from any of the bottle and put it inside the glucometer. I take the reading, right? If the reading comes 250 mg per deciliter, it means in my 1 liter of blood, the amount of sugar is 2.5 grams. 2.5 grams means one small chips, that is 2.5 grams, right? So 14 millimole per liter means about 2.5 grams of sugar in your 1 liter of blood, right? For example, if I take the reading and from one of the blood sample of my body, and reading comes 200. 200 means about 11.1, right? 200. That means in my 1 liter of my blood, the amount of sugar is about 2 grams. 2 grams. In my whole body, how much sugar will be traveling? How much? 10 grams, right? 10 grams. So that is the connection between what the glucometer reading and what it actually translates to, right? Simple?
So can I just clarify that? This 250 milligram reading is post-meal or?
Post-meal.
Post-meal, not fasting.
Fasting is misleading. Stop measuring the fasting. You can measure as a hobby, right? So, but don't take it seriously. Post-meal. You eat a lot of food, wait for 2 hours, and then see how your body works in that 2 hours, how your body handles the sugar in that 2 hours. That is the best measurement, understanding of the sugar metabolism in the body, right? Okay. So here, if the reading is 200, then that means 2 grams of sugar is traveling in my body. 200 means in millimole it is 11, right? And it is perfectly okay. But if my reading in the glucometer is 300, right? 300 about 16 or something, right? That means instead of 2 grams of sugar in 1 liter of water, how many grams of sugar is traveling? 3 grams. So approximately about 1 gram extra sugar is traveling. That extra sugar is called diabetes. That is one which body is not able to handle, right? So this means if I am able to manage that 1 gram extra gram of sugar, then I am escaping the diabetes. Now, your brain really want to do it. So what happens, if, for example, first of all, why sugar will be there in the blood? Why it is required? At this time, I am talking to you, right? Spending a lot of energy. You are thinking, spending a lot of energy. answering, spending a lot of energy. Each and every cell of the body needs energy on a continuous basis. And blood, it gives energy to the cells in the form of sugar. And the cells, it burns the sugar to convert that into energy. Sugar is good or bad? Good? Yeah, because of sugar, you get energy. Because of energy, you are alive. You are alive. Otherwise, you would have died. Sugar is good. High sugar is good or bad? High sugar is more energy? It should be good or bad? Yeah, more sugar means I have more energy. Doctor will say, oh, your reading is 18 millimole. This means I have a lot of energy with me. Isn't it good? High sugar should be there in the cells, not circulating in the blood. Right? God has allowed only 2 grams of sugar should circulate in 1 liter of blood. For example, your traffic has allowed that in one motorbike only 2% can travel. If 3% travel, what will happen? A lot of things can happen. Accident can happen. 1, the bike may not, the long life of bike may be cut short. 2, or the person have to pay some money to the traffic police, right? As in India, same is here, all over the world, right? So he risk any of them or all of them together as also. So in the same manner, if that extra 1 gram of sugar is traveling in the bloodstream, then that may cause some damage to the blood vessels or some damage to the body. So in some of you, the brain take a decision to drop that extra 1 gram of sugar. If they drop extra 1 gram of sugar, then you are not a sugar patient at all. That's what the brain wants. So brain gives a signal to the blood that extra 1 gram. Assume that I am having 1 gram extra, right? Or that extra 1 gram or 2 gram, whatever extra, brain gives a signal to the body, drop that extra sugar on the blood vessel, so that the blood do not have that burden of that sugar, so that you escape the side effect of diabetes. Clear? So what happened? The blood, they throw the sugar on the blood vessel, so that your sugar level becomes normal. You are no more a diabetes patient. But there is a problem. The problem is, if more and more sugar drops on the blood vessel, something else will happen. Do one experiment today once you go back. You take some sugar, normal sugar, refined sugar, you make a paste by dropping some water on it, and you apply on the skin. Wait for it to dry. And now, once it dry, then you just see the skin. Touch the skin. It should be harder or it should be soft? Harder. Same is true inside the blood vessel as well. Same is true. The blood vessel become hard, and that translates to high blood pressure. The brain wanted to protect you from high blood sugar, but you landed up and became a patient of high blood pressure. For some of you, the brain do not want you to suffer from high blood pressure as well. After all, brain's responsibility is to keep you long life and keep you healthy. For some of you, the brain have a different strategy. Brain directs the blood, don't throw the extra sugar on the blood vessel, you will become hypertension patient. Rather, in our body there are number of places which is empty. For example, in the joints, there is nothing. There is some gap. So for some of you, the brain gives a signal, drop that extra sugar in those gaps, so that you are protected from being called as high blood pressure patient. This is a good idea? What do you say? I think it's a good idea. But there is a problem here as well. When more and more sugar deposits in the joint, that leads to some other disease, inflammatory disease. Now you can see gastritis, arthritis, pancreatitis, hepatitis, otitis. You say itis? Itis itself means inflammation. So all the diseases are same, but originated at a different part of the body. Conventionally, if you go to the doctor in a hospital for arthritis, there is a different department. For gastritis, different department. Colitis, another department, right? But in reality, they are not different disease. Only location is different. So, but the disease same. Excess sugar deposit, creating inflammation, resulting in these diseases. But of course, the brain don't want that you should suffer from these diseases as well. So, for some of you, brain is having a different plan. Brain tell the blood that excess sugar, why you throw here and there? For some of you, brain have a different plan. What plan brain should follow, brain will follow, it depends on their genetics. which of the choice the brain will take. For that, the brain goes to the past ancestor, what they would have done if they would have got extra sugar. So there comes the role of genetics. Diabetes itself is not a genetic disease, it's a lifestyle disease, but when the brain decides to manage that extra sugar, brain take the path which their ancestor might have taken or ancestor would have taken. That is the role of little bit of genetics. Now, for some of you, the brain will give a guideline to the blood. Why throw sugar here and there? Why not to directly, quickly, you hide it inside the cell for which the sugar is meant. Finally, it has to go there only, so that the body or the cells will utilize that sugar whenever the body will need. So, seems to be a promising idea. Yeah? But again, it's a small problem. And that is, the sugar, the blood can transport the sugar to the cell's door. But the door has to be open, only then cell will accept the sugar. To open the cell door, the cells need the key. Anybody could name the key? Insulin. This means your body will need more keys, since they have to open more doors, or they have to open the door for longer period. Brain will give a signal to the key factory. What is the name of that? Pancreas. Brain will give the signal to the pancreas, the factory of the key, please produce more keys, because now more doors should be open for longer duration. Right? Now the pancreas, a small organ like a finger, it started producing more insulin, and one interesting important thing, more insulin produced as a byproduct, one more chemical produced automatically, it is called IGF. Insulin like growth factor. It is automatic. It is not in our control. It is one important chemical which our body produces, which is responsible for our growth. Growth of our hair, nails, a child grows, IGF. But when the body overproduces IGF, then extra IGF, body is not able to handle, it hides that IGF somewhere in the body. When that extra IGF is hidden somewhere in the body, what do you expect at that particular point? What will happen? What can be the outcome? That organ start growing faster. What it is called? Cancer. This means body is trying to protect you from hypertension, from high blood sugar, from an inflammatory disease, but it landed up to become a cancer patient. Not a good idea. But for some of you, the brain is having altogether a different plan, because the brain wants to protect you even from the cancer as well. In the whole body, there are few cells who do not need any key to open the door. Those are the cells of the brain. So for some of you, the body decides, let the excess sugar be deposited in the brain cells, so that the body don't need extra insulin, and you are protected from this cancer kind of things as well. Now you are sure that now there should not be any problem. What do you say? But you are suspecting here also there must be some problem. Yeah? And you are right if you are suspecting. If more and more sugar deposits in the brain cell, that leads to the brain disorder, Alzheimer, Parkinson, dementia. Right? These are scientists together, brain disorder, they gave a new name that is called diabetes type 3. Right? Because now the scientists came to understand that all the diseases, cancer, hypertension, all these have a common connection, that is high sugar. So even a brain disorder patient are called diabetes patient. Even hypertension, cholesterol, diabetes together, it is called metabolic syndrome. Right? Disease seems to be different. The location of the discomfort may be different. But the connection, the cause is the same. Excess sugar brain is not able to handle, it is trying to manage, in the process it is giving some discomfort to you, and that discomfort, on the basis of the origin of the discomfort, the location of the discomfort, you give a name, either cancer or hypertension or something. So, for some of you, brain do not do anything. This means sugar lives where? In the blood itself. What they are called? They are called diabetes patient. But among all the disease which I have just named, diabetes is the one which can be reversed and cured in just 3 days. You are lucky that you are a diabetes patient. Your brain decided to keep the sugar in the blood itself, not to throw in somewhere else. But not that lucky. Why? Because it has been seen by the end of the life, among the diabetes patient, 20% of the patient, they became blind as well. If 100 people, they have been diabetic for the last 20 years, about 20 of them, before they die, they will lose their eyes. Similarly, about up to 50% lose their kidney. And about 15% they will lose their limbs. So not that lucky as well. So this means it is your responsibility to come out of the trap of diabetes. And managing the sugar by medicine, in short, I would like to say that that is an illusion. In the glucometer reading will be less, but that is an illusion. The side effect remains the same. In one simple example I'll give you. Let's say a patient, one person, his blood sugar comes out to be 16 millimole per liter. Is he a diabetes patient or not? Yes. There are two patients, both of them are having 16. One goes to the doctor and he takes medication so that it comes 11 here, down. Other, he don't do anything, it remains 16. Interestingly, the number may come at 11 by medicine, but his risk factor remains there only where it is if he would not have taken the medicine. Medicine reducing number is not same as reducing the risk factor. Try to understand. This medical science was not knowing few years back. But after following the people, they have seen the people who did not do anything to reduce the blood sugar. They are also suffering in the similar manner as the people who did that something to do, even they are suffering in the same manner. So if you are able to manage the blood sugar naturally, then you can avoid the side effect, right? So I have written a book called Last Days of Diabetes, right? If you want, I can send the PDF. So there the complete explanation about this part is there. Maybe if we get time after this, then we can discuss in depth. So what I mean to say, by taking medication, you can reduce the number in the glucometer, but reducing the number is not reducing the side effects. That remains the same. Reducing the risk factor, that remains the same. But if even this is not discouraging you, and not giving the encouragement to follow something else to cure, then I'll give you some more fact. And one fact could be, man started becoming woman and woman started becoming man. That is one of the side effects of diabetes. Right? For example, for many patients I've seen, men become women. This means low testosterone in the man, high estrogen level, that is a female hormone, loss of hair on legs, arm and chest, skin becomes soft, increased breast size, trouble in getting erection, decreased muscle mass. So men, there is some transformation which is more female oriented, and just the opposite happened with the woman. Hair growth on face and body, loss of hair on head, irregular menstrual cycle, infertility, polycystic ovary, high level of male hormone, that is testosterone. Right? So surely all this together will force and will encourage you to do something to get rid of the diabetes and diabetes drug as well. Right? So here conclusively I want to tell you that all the disease together, or at least hypertension, obesity, high cholesterol and diabetes together, it is called metabolic syndrome. Or all the brain disorder together is called now diabetes type 3. So all this gives the evidence or understanding that disease may be different, but the cause is same, that is excess sugar deposit in some part of the body. Right? So now, here we have understood the mechanism, what is high sugar and how it affects the body, and why it affects all the organs of the body. Now certainly, what we have to do first. But before that, people, you may be thinking that in this Kuala Lumpur there are multi-specialty hospital and really renowned doctors. So all the things you are having, then what is my what new I am going to give you and how? Here a simple fact. Let's say whenever clinical trial happens, which keeps on happening around the globe, some outcome comes. Whenever clinical trial will happen, there will be some outcome, expected or unexpected. When the outcome comes, now which outcome will reach to the masses and which they will withhold, they will hide. That is called a political filter. Something which will benefit the business will go to the mainstream media, textbook, doctor, teacher and to you. And something which may hinder the business, the pharmaceutical business, that will be hidden. Right? That will not be exposed. So my role is, I expose that part of the knowledge which can be helpful to the patient but not to the medicine company. Right? So I'll give a proof, evidence. Cochrane, in Penang there is a, the Penang Medical College, there is a Cochrane department. Cochrane is a internationally known, authenticated, and about 130 or 140 countries are member, including India, and they sponsor Cochrane, and Cochrane is known to be the highest authentic body who give the right picture of the medical industry or the medical science. And they don't accept any donation from a pharmaceutical company. They accept the donation and run by only government funded money. So according to Cochrane guidelines 2014 report, half of all clinical trials aren't published, leaving doctors and patients in dark. Means whatever the doctor know, they know only 50% the truth. For example, let's say I talk of one medicine called glitazone, Pios. When it came in the market 2001, it came, glitazone, it reduces sugar level. Half part of the clinical trial. The other half, it increases chances of bladder cancer. Side effect. That is being hidden. But now doctor do not know. The doctor just know that it reduces blood sugar. He started prescribing the medicine. After 2-3 years, what will happen? What kind of complaint he will get? Patient will come back with bladder cancer. And that is the time when the doctor will tell the higher authority, and they will cross-check, and then they will say, oh my God, half part of it was hidden. Right? So then the medicine will start banning, it will be banned in various countries. Right? But mostly it will be first banned in developed country and then later on in developing country. I don't know of Malaysia whether it is banned or not, but in India it was banned in 2 years back. I think it was July 2013. It was banned for 1 month, and within 1 month, under the pressure of pharmaceutical industry, it was again, the ban was taken back. It is still in the market right now. About 3 million people are consuming pioglitazone every day. So what I mean to say, sometime you may think that there is a hospital, doctors, government, policymakers, they may be taking care of everything. I need not to worry. If I'm ill, I have to go to the hospital. It is your responsibility to remain healthy. And it is the doctor who are more sick than you, right? So if they cannot take care of themselves, how they can take care of you? I am not saying that it's their fault. I am only saying that a part of it is hidden from them. When they don't know the complete picture, then the possibility is they may harm themselves also, because when they are ill, they do the same thing which they are doing with you, right? So my job here is that hidden part I am presenting in front of you, so that you put it in a manner I am presenting to you, so that you can use it for yourself and see the result. Right? I'll give you one example what kind of thing I am talking about. Which of the following raises the blood sugar fastest? If you are a diabetes patient, which one is worse for you? Chapati or bread, B tea, C mango, and D banana. Which is worse for a diabetes patient? What is happening that each one of you are saying one of them, and at least one of them is going to be correct. Still there is some chances that some of you will be correct. The answer here is chapati or bread. That is worse for the diabetes patient. But the doctor will never tell you to restrict or limit it. Okay, mango is good for diabetes patient, bad for diabetes patient. Bad? Okay. Some of you, as you're seeing that, okay, everything that this doctor is speaking just the opposite, here also. So, yes, you know. So mango is good for diabetes patient. So we sometimes have 3 days residential tour for advanced stage diabetes patients. But we sign a contract. I will allow the patient to be in my diabetes tour only in one condition, if he agree to eat 2 kg of mango every day. So if you're a diabetes patient and if you decide to be on a mango diet or a banana diet, you'll be surprised that you'll be cured and you have to throw the medicine. So just imagine the kind of thing which you know is just the opposite, right? Much behind the, right? Much away from the truth. Most of the patients, they come to me complaining that since I've been diagnosed diabetes patient for last 15 or 20 years, my favorite food was mango, and I stopped eating it because doctor said that it will make the diabetes worse. But the reality, the truth is, if you start eating mango, you'll be cured, isn't it? So then the patient, they ask me, why doctor asked me not to eat mango when it is beneficial for diabetes patient? So I don't know, but I can guess. If everybody get cured, then what will happen? So I'm not saying anything. You are assuming what I mean. So okay, now come to the point. What you have to do from tomorrow? That is the most important thing. What you have to eat and how to eat to escape the diabetes. Here, I'll give you an example. You see, in front of you here, the lady, the oldest living lady of the world, right? She stays near a small village in Ho Chi Minh. It is my photo, and these are the resident of that place. Can you guess her age? At that time, 2 years back, my photo, it was 121 years. 121 years. So before I visited that lady, I am a chief editor of Asia Book of Records, so sometimes I get a privilege to meet outstanding people, people who have achieved something outstanding in their life. Many times I get a chance to meet them, to know about them. So I went on that to meet her. Before that, I sent a medical team, my Vietnam medical team, to check her health condition before I go and give her a certificate. And I was surprised to know that she was absolutely healthy. And I was also curious whether she is a diabetes patient or not. She was not. She was not. So when I was visiting her, I thought that maybe a very old lady, she must be lying in the bed, and maybe she will get disturbed when she will see an outsider coming and talking and interacting. But interestingly, when I landed, when I met her, she was already prepared to welcome the guest, right? And asked her first question, how much was the distance from here to Vietnam? And did you get any food in the flight? Or how many children you are having? I mean to say, she was having all those excitement of the life which you and me are having right now, right? She was living the life the fullest. I thought that maybe something good or outstandingly unusual may be there in the genetics. Because of that, she lived for so long. But to my surprise, I could quickly realize when I interacted with their family member that many of their family members, they died at the age of 80 with some disease, or 70. Normal life expectancy. Unusually, she was the only one. Now, then I inquired about what kind of food and what kind of lifestyle she's in. And then that was the thing which clicked. And that was, she gave me the routine. It was similar to the food being consumed by the 7 civilizations of the world, who are known according to WHO as the healthiest civilization of the world. One of them in Hunza, India. One of them Okinawa in Japan. One of them Burma in China. They are known to be the healthiest. They live for 100 years without any sickness. If you go to Hunza, you will not find any hospital, not find any doctor, not find any sick people. If any of your friend who is a doctor and want to establish his practice in Hunza, he will be jobless. Not a single patient. So, I understood her kind of food, and also it was similar to other people who live for long life. So whether they live in India or in China or Japan or in any other continent, it doesn't matter. Genetics doesn't matter. Lifestyle matters. So I had the privilege to live in Kuwait for some time. Kuwait, interestingly, is known to be the most diabetes population, right? This means every 4th person is a real diabetes patient in Kuwait. And also it is one of the richest population. Everybody is rich. If they don't do any work, even then because every year, at the end of the year, the king, as a custom, they automatically transfer a lot of money to all the citizens. So they need not to work for food or for car or for the house. For pleasure they may work. The richest country of the world, the richest citizen of the world, and also the most diabetic patient. So I got some support from Kuwait Medical Association so that I understand what kind of food and diet they are in and what is the main cause of their diabetes being so much prevalent. After 40 years, there cannot be any person who is not a diabetes patient in real sense. I found the kind of food the Kuwait population was eating was totally opposite of the kind of food the oldest lady was eating. I gave a name to it. The kind of food which Kuwait population was eating, I gave a name called VIP diet. VIP, you understand? Very important person, right? And what is VIP? In India, how to show that he is very important, especially the politicians. So they go in a car with a red light on the top of it, right? And if they can break all the rules, he is a VIP, right? So how he will show that he is VIP? He is able to break all the rules. He will not listen to the traffic signal, and he can break the traffic rules. Oh, he's a VIP, right? So sometimes the food which you eat behave like a VIP. Means the moment you eat, it goes in the stomach, it breaks all the rules of the stomach, it breaks all the signal, it will not listen and sensitive to the signal of the stomach, it directly jump into the bloodstream, and that increases the blood sugar, the blood pressure, the blood cholesterol, everything get disturbed. VIP food. Food behaving like VIP, breaking the rules made by the stomach. Then there is something called DIP, disciplined and intelligent people, like you and me. We stop in the traffic signal, we look around, even if it is a green signal, we see the safety of the fellow passenger and safety of us, and then only we travel. We are DIP, disciplined and intelligent people. Sometimes the food we eat, it behaves like DIP. Once it is in the stomach, like mango, it will not jump into the bloodstream. It will get a signal. And if already there is enough sugar in the bloodstream, so that signal will tell whether to wait in the stomach itself, or whether to hide in the liver, or whether to go out in the colon, through the colon. So that decision will be taken by the signaling system. And the food, they could understand the signal, and they remain in the stomach. And however, how much quantity of food you may eat, still your blood sugar cannot rise dangerously, your blood pressure cannot rise dangerously, your blood cholesterol have to be normal only. And those are called DIP diet, DIP food, right? So as simple as that. The moment you start with DIP food, right, I can challenge that you cannot have a higher blood pressure, higher blood sugar, higher blood cholesterol. It has to be normal, because the food is understanding the signal by the body. So it will enter only when it is required. Otherwise it will be thrown out of the body, or it will hide in the liver, or it will wait for some more time in the stomach itself. DIP diet. Okay, at this point, what do you think? What is the most important question comes in the mind? Yes, you're right. How to know what is a DIP diet and VIP diet? And if you understand that, everything is now complete. How to know, how to identify the DIP diet and the VIP diet. So this is going to be the most important part of the talk. I really want that you understand each and everything properly so that you can do it correctly. Okay. For that I made a formula for you. MRP. Anything which comes under MRP is VIP. One MRP is, maximum retained price. I'm not talking about that. Although it includes that as well. Right? Anything, any packet, any food having MRP, that is VIP. But here it is having different meaning. R stands for refined product. Any food which is refined, right, is VIP. Refined salt, refined sugar, refined oil, VIP. What is refining? We must understand why people do refining. Now, refined sugar, refined salt. For example, if I take a banana and keep it here and we come after 1 month, what do you expect? Will it get spoiled, or it will be okay to eat? Spoiled. If you keep a biscuit here and come after 1 month, will it get spoiled? No. Right? So biscuit is made of refined food. Right? So it will never get spoiled. So why refining is done? So that the food can stay for longer duration without getting spoiled. For what they have to do? They have to remove the important mineral from the food. Chromium, manganese, cobalt, zinc, magnesium. These are the integral part of the food, any food. But the intelligent or clever businessman, they take away these minerals from the food. And now when they take out all these minerals, that food do not have the power to get spoiled. It loses the quality to get spoiled. Right? So that food can stay not just for 1 month, even after 10 years that biscuit will not get spoiled. Right? So that's refined food. There are many reasons why food are being refined, but this is the most important reason. Right? But the moment it loses the quality to be spoiled, it is not a food at all now. I'll give you one example. You do one experiment. That small child, in which class you are in? 3? Okay. Okay. Good. So you do one experiment once you go back home. While going back home, you take one, you like pizza or burger? You take one pizza or one burger, whichever you like the most, right? Sit down please. And you take any fruit which you don't like, right? Apple or banana or anything which you think that, oh, why God has made this? unnecessarily, right? You take it and then you dig 2 holes in the ground. In one hole you put the pizza or the burger, and other hole you put the apple or whatever fruit you have taken, and then you hide it again with the soil. Come back after 6 months. Now dig the first the hole where there should be apple, and you will find there is no apple, eaten by the insect, etc. Now dig the second hole, and you will be surprised to see the pizza or the burger is intact. Even the insect do not eat pizza. Only human eat pizza. Vegetarian. Even vegetarian pizza also insect will not eat. Right? So the thing which has been rejected even by the insects, all the animal of the planet, that is not a food. It may look like a food. It is not a food. It loses the quality to be called as food. If you eat something which is not food at the very first place, do you still expect you to be healthy? You cannot. Okay. Is it a food? No. It cannot get spoiled after 10 years also. So it is not a food. It may look like a food. If I eat, what will happen? Do you think that I can be healthy? I cannot be healthy, right? So many people, they say, I want to eat pizza and now how I'll cure of diabetes. I say, you eat food as much as you want. But first, see what is the definition of the food, right? Just eating anything, I can be healthy, that is something ridiculous. You have to eat food and you cannot be diabetes patient. But we must decide what is food. Refined products are not a food. It has loses its quality to be called as a food. And when you eat, anybody eats. For that matter, if I eat, I'll be sick. I may not be sick of diabetes, but I can be sick of hypertension, or I can be sick of cancer. What route my brain will take, that depends on so many factors I just explained. But surely I cannot remain healthy if I eat something which looks like food. You have to eat something which is actually food rather than which looks like food, right? So refined product. Now the second is the packed food. Anything which is in packet, let it be in the packet. Need not to open it. Bread is there, biscuit is there, chips is there, right? Those food, including the food which you just ate before entering the hall, right? I told Silvarani, our organizer for this show, that for the last time let them eat what they want, right? So otherwise they may be angry on me that why don't you give us a warning so that we have had the last wish. So I said, okay, let them eat for the last time. Anything which is packed, that let it be packed. Do not eat. You do one experiment today. You take lemon, or you take orange, or you take any other juicy fruit, or you make a juice, or carrot or radish, make a juice, and put under the microscope. And when you put under the microscope, what you see? You will see this. Is it living or non-living? It is living. Now you take any packed juice and put under the microscope. Do you think you will find this living beings? No. This living thing which you can see with your open eyes, these are the driver of the food. When you eat a living food, they are the driver. They understand the signaling by the stomach. In the stomach, like a traffic signal, there is a stomach policeman, traffic police. And chemically it is called incretin hormone, incretin hormone. And what is its job? When the food enters, like a traffic signal, it gives the signal to the food whether to wait in the stomach, or whether to jump in the bloodstream, or whether to hide in the liver, or what action should it take. That signaling by the stomach is being recognized by this live enzymes, right? Imagine that you have a Mercedes car, luxury car, you put a brick on the accelerator and you start the button, right? It may be an expensive car, but what will be the fate of the car? Something bad, right? So important is not the how luxury or how expensive the car. It is a driverless car. So the food, even if it is very, very expensive from the biggest of the hotel, right? But driverless food, right? So food must have a driver. Anything which is driverless is called dead food. The packed food are dead food. Those are food having a lot of vitamin, having a lot of carbohydrate or protein or other things. But beside that, we need something called life. Like a car. It may be a very luxurious car, but it still needs a driver, right? Who is having a brain. So packed food, P stands for packed food and M the and milk product, right? So we must stop taking milk. Try to understand, humans are the only animal who drink milk lifelong. And humans are the only animal who drink other animals' milk. Have you ever seen any animal drinking other animals' milk? Not often, right? You might have seen a tiger, he may hunt a cow, but have you ever seen tiger catching a cow drinking cow's milk? No, right? The point I want to make here is try to understand, that is, milk is not a food. Milk is not made by the God to be consumed lifelong. Only mother's milk for the first few months of the baby's growth, at the time when baby is not able to collect the food on its own or eat and chew the food, that is the time when the baby needs a milk, and that is the only milk you need in the whole life. You don't need milk anymore, right? So many times during this presentation, sometime when I do it especially in medical college or Ayurvedic medical college, you know Ayurvedic medical college, most of their medicine depend on milk. So then the professor says, stop, now enough, we have understood enough, need not to speak anymore. They cannot listen anything when I tell about milk, anything against. But I say, have an open mind, give an argument, right, and then only accept. I am not forcing anything, all right. So here, many times, even a layman, they say, if I don't take milk, how I'll get that? What is that? Calcium. Yeah. So we are being educated since the childhood that milk having calcium, and calcium we get from the milk, and that's how we are alive, or that's how our bones are working. Isn't that? So I say, why calcium? Oh, for my bones. If I don't take milk, then my bones will not get calcium, it will die and I'll be dying, right? I'll be weak. Have you seen a bone of a horse or a donkey or maybe a cow? How do you think they might have developed their bones? They must be drinking milk every day. Cow produce so much of milk, but themselves they don't drink the milk. From where they might have got the calcium? From the leaves, from the vegetable. The strongest animal of the planet, elephant. From where they get the bones? From where they get the calcium? From the leaves, from the fruits, right? Cow producing so much of milk, but they themselves get the calcium from the grass. So if they can get, why not humans, right? Human can also. In this world there are 3 countries with the highest consumption of milk. Finland, Denmark, Sweden. In this world there are 3 countries with the highest number of bone disease patients. Finland, Denmark, Sweden. In this country there are 2 countries with the lowest milk consumption, Thailand and Vietnam. In this world there are 2 countries with the lowest bone disease, Thailand and Vietnam, right? So there you will find very less people with some kind of bone disease. In India, I belong to a city called Kolkata, you know? Yeah, Kolkata. That is a city also with the highest amount of milk consumption, right? So if I go often when I see my other family members, so even of my age, so their bones are right not in shape. They are limping, most of them. When I say, what you made you also like this? Oh, now I am 40. Look at him, and look at me. Everybody is sick and I am also sick, absolutely okay. So if everybody is sick, that does not mean that everything is okay. In Kolkata, if you go, you will find one sweet shop, another medical shop, then another sweet shop, then another chemist shop, right? They buy the sweet, along with that they buy the medicine, go. And most of the sweets are made of refined food and the milk product, you know that, right? So there are some conventional wisdom, but it is our right and responsibility to question that conventional wisdom, right? So here, especially the milk, that is a food if it is a mother's milk. Sometimes parents say milk is good for the growth of the child. If you give milk to the child, he will grow fast. That is true. Why? Because the cow, you see a cow, a calf, right, within 6 months become a big cow, 100 kg cow, right? Because the growth hormone of the cow's milk is 6 times stronger and bigger than the growth hormone of human milk. So if you give the cow's milk to the child, it will grow very big, very fast. But do you want your child to become a cow? Or you want your child to become a human? If you are so interested to increase their size, why don't you give an elephant's milk? Right? Something which can grow very fast, something which is growing unusually fast, may not be always good. That may be called as a cancer as well. So God has decided speed of growth for every animal. And we should be in that range only. If we do something other than that, so God may punish us. Right? So the cow milk, somebody says the cow milk is very nutritious. You are right. Cow's milk is nutritious for the cow's baby, not for you. So, in India, there is one company called Amul. You have heard of Amul? Right? And interestingly, Amul's owner, he is my patient. And at the time, he was 130 kg, few months back. And my one industrialist friend, he lost weight by stopping milk. He challenged him that you stop milk for few days and see your weight. And now that Amul owner, wherever he goes, he says, don't drink milk. Yeah. So what I mean to say, that you can try on yourself by avoiding milk and milk product for just 1 week. 1 week. I'm not saying 1 month, not 1 year. And at the end of the week, ask yourself how I'm feeling. You'll be finding that if you're insulin taker, it will be reduced to 50%. You're not following anything else. Only one thing, stopping milk and milk product. Right? So, whenever I meet any diabetes type 1 patient, if you happen to see a diabetes type 1 patient, so you give them one suggestion, and that is stop giving milk product to the child. And interestingly, from this next day, the child will need only 50% of the insulin which he was using till that time. So I'm not saying milk is a poison. I'm not saying that. I'm only saying that if it is raising your blood sugar, if it is making you sick, then stop that. You don't need it, right? You will not miss anything. Sometimes people say, if I don't take milk, from where I'll get calcium? Even now you're not getting calcium from the milk, for that matter, right? The milk calcium body is not able to absorb. Milk may be having highest amount of calcium, but something may be in highest amount do not mean that your body is getting highest amount. Having highest amount and getting highest amount is different. For example, the nails are having highest amount of calcium. Why don't you eat the nails? Because it is in non-absorbable form. Highest amount of protein is there in the hair. Why don't you eat the hairs? Non-absorbable form. Highest amount of carbohydrate in the wood. So why don't you break the wood, boil the wood and eat it? Because it is not available form. So we have to change the formation of sentence. Highest amount of calcium in available form is in the vegetables. In available form, if you add that, then word will not be milk, it will become vegetable, right? Highest amount of protein is there in the leaves in available form. Non-available form, it can be in chicken, it can be in fish. But what you will do with the non-available form? Even you see egg, the shell, highest amount of calcium. Why don't you make a powder and eat it? Non-available form. So we have to construct the sentence, highest amount of such and such thing, available form. Then entire thing will change. Till now the definition is highest amount of this, highest amount of that. That doesn't make any sense. Right? So MRP, anything which is in MRP is a VIP food, and that will make sick anybody and everybody. Right? Somebody who want to eat a MRP and still be healthy, I don't have any solution. Right? Because something which is not food, but they may look like a food, right, is the one which will make you sick. Now, here we have reached, halt these three type of food and it will halt diabetes type 1 and type 2. So today, once you go back home, what you have to do? How to start? VIP food, instead of that you have to eat DIP food. How? Cold drink, you replace cold drink with coconut water, if it is available readily. Right? Coconut water is full of minerals, natural minerals. And any kind of sickness, the body loses mineral tremendously, and if you replace that mineral, you are recovered. Okay, I'll give you one example to make you understandable. Can you guess what is there? What is this in your hand? While coming to this hall, on the way, did you see this? Right? What is this? Is it not looking like a road, the material which tar? Right? You are right, you are right. Partially you are right at least. Right? It is nearby tar. Somebody want to taste? Yeah? Taste also. So, but how I got it? Very easy. I took the expiry date of Coca-Cola, expiry date 1 liter bottle, and I took it in a container. I boiled it for 1 hour. When all the water evaporated, what is left is that in your hand. Now it looks like a tar. About 2 years back, one idea came in my mind. If you come to my city, Faridabad, I stay in Faridabad. Anybody who knows Faridabad? No? Yeah, you heard of it? And the road is terrible, right? So there is no road in fact. So I thought that okay, if it is looking like tar, I took a quintal of the bottles of expiry date of Coca-Cola. I boiled all of them together and converted that into a road near my office. It had been now 2 years already, and all other road which is being made by the government, every year they have to repair the damage, but this is still like that only. It has gone through 2 rains and all kind of weather and all kind of trucks, etc., but still it is intact. Who says that quality of Coca-Cola is not good? I think it is really good. Now imagine if it cannot be damaged even by the rain and worse condition. When you drink that Coke, what good it will do in the body? And still, if somebody says that I will drink Coca-Cola and now you say cured, I can remain healthy, I don't have any answer. So instead of Coca-Cola, you replace that with coconut water. Instead of cow milk, now start giving nut milk to your children. Many times the parent says, okay, every day I give 2 glasses of milk to my child, now what to do? I give the answer, you take nut milk. What is nut milk? It is called milk, but it do not need milk. Step 1, you take 8 to 10 almonds. Step 2, you soak them for 4 to 6 hours in the water. And finally, you put it in the mixie and blend it for 2-3 minutes along with 200 ml of water inside it. Your nut milk is ready. Just 2-3 minutes it will take to be ready. Any other nuts, cashew nut, almond, whatever, simple nuts. So you have to avoid soya. I'll talk about it in the extra time, but to answer your question, avoid soya, right? So only it will take 2-3 minutes, and the outer layer of the nuts, let it be a part of it. Don't filter it. Now along with that, you add 1 mango, it will become mango shake. Add 1 banana, it will become banana shake, right? So that will be very tasty. Add little honey if you have a pure honey, not the one which is industrial honey. So it will be very tasty and very healthy, full of nutrition, full of calcium, having all the advantage, so-called advantage which you thought to be in the milk, but in reality you will find it in this nut milk. So make an habit that you start giving your children this kind of drink. Now, instead of tea which you had today or the coffee, right, have Hunza tea. What is Hunza tea? Interestingly, all the ingredient you need to prepare Hunza tea is already there at your home, and the recipe of it is there in the card. When you go out, you will get this card, and it needs only lemon, it needs some ginger, it needs jaggery, it needs cinnamon, it needs basil leaves, tulsi leaf, it needs 6-7 ingredients, and mostly they are there at our home. If you don't get 1 or 2 ingredients, even then it will be reasonably tasty, and you can drink as much as you want. And when you drink even once, you'll get the craving of it instead of getting the craving for the tea. And this is a diet which will not disturb your body metabolism, and it will not hurt your body metabolism. So this recipe is there in the card, which you can do it at your home. You will save some time also, and you will save some money to buy the tea leaves. Packed food, instead of packed food, every day 500 grams of fruits, citrus fruit or any fruits, right? And those who are diabetes patients, instead of 500 grams, they should take at least 1 kg of fruits, right? So more you're diabetic, more you have to eat fruits, right? And instead of, refined food, the packed food, every day 2 times a day, raw vegetables. Raw means raw tomato, raw cucumber, anything which you can eat in carrot or radish, anything which you can eat it easily. If you can do it, then what you can expect? Something which happened to Bill Clinton, right, can happen to you. Bill Clinton history, in 2004 he had to undergo 4 bypass surgery, 2005 emergency lung surgery, 2010 2 angioplasty, and he was very, very sick. If you go back and see in Google his old videos before 2010, you'll find a sick man, a fat man, who is a mad as well. When a person undergoes surgery, many times the brain cell dies and the person behaves like a madman. In reality, it is not his fault, it is just the fault of the surgery. It is like that only. 2010. Is yours? No? Yeah. In 2010, he was told about this diet. The diet which I'm discussing with you, the VIP and DIB diet. He decided to be on this diet for a few days. And within few days, some magical thing happened. What is that? Right? What is that happened with him? I'll show you the video, you see, and you decide. From 2010 till now, 2016, he never became sick again. And when the media, they saw this miracle happen with him, the media asked him, how you got this health? Then what he answered, I want you to listen to it.
But I did it for a different reason. I wanted to lose a little weight, but I didn't dream this would happen. I did it because after I had this stent put in, I realized that even though it happens quite often that after you have bypasses, you lose the veins because they're thinner and weaker than arteries. The truth is that it clogged up, which means that the cholesterol was still causing buildup in my vein that was part of my bypass. And thank God I could take the stents. I don't want it to happen again. So I did all this research, and I saw that 82% of the people since 1986 who have gone on a plant-based, no dairy, no meat of any kind, no chicken, turkey. I eat very little fish. Once in a while I'll have a little fish, not often. If you can do it, 82% of the people who've done that have begun to heal themselves. Their arterial blockage cleans up. The calcium deposit around their heart breaks up. This movement has been led by a doctor named Caldwell Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic, Dean Ornish, whom you know, out in California, the doctors Campbell, father and son, who wrote the China study, and a handful of others. But we now have 25 years of evidence. And so I thought, well, since I need to lose a little weight for Chelsea's wedding, I'll become part of this experiment. I'll see if I can be one of those that can have a self-clearing mechanism. We'll see.
I hope you're healthy for many years and get to see grandchildren.
So here, he talked about, he named few doctors. One, T. Colin Campbell, Caldwell Esselstyn, right? So I got an opportunity to get trained directly from them. T. Colin Campbell, a chief scientist of the China study. Bill Clinton, he gave credit to this man. And I understood how the food can work as a medicine. So one interesting thing I would like to share here, that as in the car, when you buy a car, there is a stepney. You understand stepney? The fifth wheel. So if something happens if one of the tire get punctured, you can quickly replace with the stepney. Similarly, when we were born, God has given us thousands of stepney all over the body. Right? So those are called collateral arteries, extra arteries, which are dormant, which are of at the time not unfunctional, but if in the lifetime there is a blockage in the main arteries, then the body can quickly open the collateral arteries, and in spite of 100% blockage, still you can be alive and healthy. So this is called collateral arteries, and the medical science was not knowing much about it before 1998. And this 1990 discovery, it was given a Nobel Prize, right? So now this mechanism is there. Now the question comes, if this mechanism is there, why people they suffer from heart attack and brain stroke? Just imagine that sometime your tire is punctured, you have a fifth wheel, that stepney, but to replace it, you need some tools, jack and some tools. But tools are missing from the car. So even if you are having stepney, that is of no use. Similarly, for the body also, to switch on this collateral arteries, they have to open these two ends, like the stepney of the car. For that, the body also needs some tools. For some of us, we may not have the tool at the right time, and in spite of the God has given us an alternate arrangement, like that car manufacturer, we are not able to utilize that, and we land up into brain stroke or a heart attack. So now, what is the tool which the body can utilize to open this? The tool is called nitric oxide. For this only Nobel Prize, the 1998 was given Nobel Prize. If you ensure a lot of nitric oxide production in the body, this means body will open that collateral arteries. That means you will never suffer from heart attack or brain stroke. Because even if the main arteries are blocked, the body can still run on the collateral arteries. Collateral arteries are very, very tiny arteries. It can be seen in a microscope when the chest is being opened. So it is a real arteries, but dormant stage arteries for emergency requirement only, right? So that is the kind of collateral artery. For that to function, body needs a chemical. What is name I just told you? Nitric oxide. In short, NO, NO, right? So, and if the body is able to do it, it's called natural bypass. Natural bypass. One is the bypass surgery, you know, but the body is having the capability to do the surgery on its own. So that is given a name called natural bypass. It is already in the syllabus in the mainstream medical science. Those who are doing MD, they learn about it, right? It is the responsibility of the surgeon or the doctor to give the option to the patient, you want to go for a natural bypass or a bypass surgery, right? Let's say there is a 90% blockage, then it is the responsibility of the surgeon to ask which procedure you want. A natural bypass, for that you have to produce a nitric oxide. For that you have to eat that kind of food which I was explaining you. The body naturally produces nitric oxide. But just suppose, imagine a patient who are having 90 or 100% blockage, and he's given an option that you can go for a natural bypass, right? Then the patient will say, everything I will do. Eat, I will buy the fruits and vegetables, I will eat, what you will do? So why should I give a fees? Sometimes my friends who are surgeon as well, I ask them that why don't you give the first option first, which is safe and which is 100% sure. But then comes the point that with that option there is no money, right? So now if you do it, what will happen? The kind of food from VIP to DIP, it takes about 3 days to recover from diabetes. It takes about 1 week for high blood pressure to get normal. Any kind of intestinal disorder or high cholesterol, it takes about 1 month to reduce about 10% of the body weight, right? Every month 10% till the time you have a standard BMI, right? Body mass index. It takes about 2 months for thyroid disease. Similarly for cancer, it takes 6 to 9 months. So once you are on this food, it do not work only on diabetes, it will work totality. For example, if some patient come to me and say, doctor, I am a hypertension and diabetes patient, you give me a food, I'm interested to cure the diabetes but not the hypertension, then it is not possible. This food will work together in all the function of the body overall. So here exactly what to do, that is one important thing. But most important thing, one question may come in your mind, if this method is so revolutionary, why it is not being promoted? Why we don't know about it? Right? One thing. Second is, what we have to do in next 72 hours, step by step. How to be heart attack proof in 3 steps. These are things which you can expect in next 5 minutes. If this method is so revolutionary, why it is not being promoted? I asked this question to my mentor, T. Colin Campbell, Colville Hestin, and other leading scientists of the world. When I get a chance to interact, I ask this question. One of the scientists called Leonard Horowitz, one of the top 10 medical scientists of the world. I got an opportunity to talk to him many times, and then he answered to my question, and I collected all the thing together, what he answered, and then together we brought a book. He co-authored a book with me, and we named that Why the Mortality Rate Drops When the Doctor Go on Strike. It is seen that whenever there is a strike in any part of the world, in that city, the people become healthier. Less people die. All over. So this complete book I wrote on it. So what I mean to say, if you want the answer of the first question, again it will take about 4 or 5 hours. I have that much amount of information, but let's skip that. If you want to read it, I can send you the PDF. You can read at your leisure time. Right? Now, what you have to do? From tomorrow, you have to go for a foundation diet. Need not to write, because when you go out, I'll give you a card. In that card, everything written in step-by-step manner, because I don't want that you should confuse and you should do something which is not exactly the one which I intended. So just focus on what I say and you'll get it printed in colored form. Every minute detail is written there. Step one, till 12 noon, whatever you eat should be fruits. Whatever you eat should be fruits, all kind of fruits. Sweet fruit, not so sweet fruit, citrus fruits, any fruits, right? And many fruits. How much quantity? Roughly, it depends on the body weight. Let's say I'm 70 kg, make one more zero, 700 grams. Somebody 80 kg, how many grams? Minimum that much. Minimum at least. Maximum can be 2 kg or 10 kg, whatever you want. This method will work only when you eat at least this much. At least this much. Only then it will work. Food as medicine, it will work as medicine. I know that some of you still may be surprised, but sir, this is a sweet fruit. Yes, I know. But it is a good sugar. It will not increase your blood sugar. It is a DIP diet. Once it goes to the stomach, it will wait for its chance to enter the bloodstream. It will not disturb your blood sugar level. Don't worry about it, right? So, till 12 noon, whatever goes in the mouth should be having one quality, should be called as fruits. That's all. How much? As much. How many time? As much time. You want to eat it in one go? You can do it. You want to distribute in installment? You can do it. Okay, 300 gram I eat into 7 o'clock, then after 8 o'clock maybe 100 gram more, 9 o'clock maybe 200 gram more. Whatever permutation combination you want, it is your choice. Step 1. About 3 to 4 kind of fruits. Total should be the amount of weight I already explained you. Now come the lunch and dinner. Lunch and dinner will be in 2 plates. Whenever you want to have lunch and dinner, always you have to have 2 plates. Plate 1 and plate 2. Right? Normally we eat in plate 1, only 1 plate. But now you always keep 2 plates. Plate 1 and plate 2. In plate 2, you put all the favorite food of your choice. You want to eat rice? You want to eat roti chapati? You want to eat dal makhani or rajma or idli or sambar? Whatever words food in the world you want to eat, put in plate 2. Noodles, etc. Whatever is so tasty and you cannot live without eating them. Right? Better to die if So put all the food in plate 2 because that's what you have to eat. But before that, plate 1. In plate 1, you have to put 4 different kind of vegetable which you can eat in raw. Decide 4 vegetable of your choice. But the condition is you should be able to eat it raw. Like tomato, like cucumber, like radish, right? All kind of 4. How much weight? Let's say my body weight is 70 kg. 700 grams divided by 2. How much? 350 grams. First I will eat plate 1. Now plate 1 is finished, 350 gram. Now where is plate 2? Whatever is there in the plate 2, my tasty food I can eat. You may be thinking, if I eat so much of plate 1, where is the place for plate 2? That's what I want. You should not eat plate 2, but I cannot say directly. It will hurt you. Indirectly. Let me tell you, 350 gram the first day will be, your stomach will fill full. But slowly you will realize, more you eat plate 1, more you will be hungry. Yeah? More you eat plate 1, more you will be hungrier. So don't worry that you will not be able to eat plate 2. Surely you will be able to eat plate 2 and even the similar amount which you eat right now. But before that, I want you to eat plate 1. Sometimes some clever patients, he say, doctor, if I change it, first I will eat plate 2, then I will eat plate 1. The result will also be opposite. Why I am asking you to eat plate 1 first? Plate 1 is a DIP food. Now imagine, you are a DIP. When you drive a car, you are a good citizen. Now a VIP is coming from the back, from your behind, some politician, someone, right? He is giving a siren, horn. But you are DIP. You are not giving him a passage. So he is forced to behave like a DIP. Unless you give a passage, right? Similarly, when you first eat DIP food, it is there all around in the stomach lining, and it is understanding the signaling of the body, of the stomach. Now, when you eat VIP food, that is plate 2, but that plate 2 will also behave like plate 1, that is DIP food. That is a trick. It will wait. It cannot jump, because in front of it, there is a DIP, right? So that trick. So that's why it is important, first you fill your stomach a little bit with the plate 1, and then you go for plate 2. Never the opposite, right? Lunch and dinner, same rule as of lunch. What I said in lunch is same as you have to do in dinner. And in dinner should be complete by 8 p.m. Start at 7 p.m. Finish by 8 p.m. Don't eat anything which may call as dinner after 8. Before 8, or rather before sunset, your body is in a state where it can metabolize the food. But after 8, body is in a repair mode. At that time, body focuses on repair, not on food digestion, right? So at that time, you ask the body, oh, stop the repair, first digest my food. Body will say, okay, just keep it, I will just see later on. So that food which is kept unnoticed or which is not given attention, that creates problem. Then the food decides on its own what I should do. And their decision may not be the correct decision, right? So, step 2. Step 3, stop eating packed food, refined food, dairy product. Most important, nutritional supplements, calcium supplement, some kind of tonic, or Nutrilite, etc. Right? Expensive things, some powder, right? Some kind of folic acid or all those things. Stop that. Stop that. Only then you can get a result. I'll give you an example to make you understand this. Why the supplement cannot help you. When you eat any food, it behaves like this umbrella. Now, with this umbrella, I want to enter my house, but the door of my house is smaller than the umbrella. It is not going. So what I'll do, I can close it, squeeze it, and enter my house. I can open it again if I want. When you eat any food, the nutrition of the food is having the quality to squeeze itself before it enters the door of the cell. Because the size of the nutrition is bigger than the size of the cell door. Clear? So first it squeezes, then it enters. Right? So like an umbrella. But the nutritional supplement, the calcium from the nutrition, for example, they look like an umbrella. But they lost the ability to squeeze. Now imagine you have an umbrella but it cannot squeeze, and now I am going to enter the door of my house and door is smaller. What I'll do, I'll struggle. And when I struggle, I'll damage the umbrella or I'll damage the cell door, the door of the house. Right? Every time you take any nutritional tablet, any tonic, any powder, that will do something good only after harming you. Right? So if you have any nutritional tablets at home, once you go home, collect all of them and throw it in the dustbin. Don't give even to the animal, they will get sick. Right? Sometimes some people say, doctor, I have bought such an expensive nutritional tablet. Okay, let me consume this, and once I finish, next time I will not buy. By buying it, you made one mistake, you lost your wealth. But do you really want to make 2 mistakes by losing your health as well? So no question of eating it, no question of eating it, throw it. Right? So, stop doing these things. Right? So what will happen when you do take these 3 steps? Right? When you take these 3 steps for diabetes patient, for example, how to do it? Step 1, today you take all the medicine and all the insulin, whatever you normally take. Tomorrow morning, the fasting you take. If the fasting is less than 14, which is quite likely since today you are taking the medicine, right? Then don't take any medicine. Now take the breakfast as I said, right? After taking breakfast, wait for 2 hours and take the reading again. You have not taken any medicine as of now. Again, if the reading is less than 14, which is most likely, without the medicine, now still don't take any medicine. Now take the lunch as I told you. After lunch, wait for another 2 hours, now take the reading. Till now, you did not take any medicine. Most likely your reading will be less than 14 even now. Don't take any medicine. Now, after dinner, wait for 2 hours, again take the reading. Possibly now also your reading will be less than 14. This means you escape the medicine and still maintaining a reasonable sugar level. You are not diabetes patient. And this means you have to monitor and see. Sometime, let's say, if the reading is more than 16, then there is a question of taking any medicine. Rather, I'll say that means that you might be taking something wrong. It's not that the food is not working. You closely see that you might have done some cheating. Unknowingly or unintentionally, you have done some cheating, right? So that's why I say that always buy a weighing machine. Because the food which you don't want to eat, or you're not habit of eating a kind of food, in a small quantity you eat and your brain believes that you have eaten a large quantity. To escape that, I said these food work only when you take in a certain amount. If you take less than that, it will remain food. If you eat more than that, it will behave like a medicine as well, right? So, here monitoring plays an important role. And certainly one thing, right? Even if you follow this instruction, even 50% of what I told you, still you have to reduce the medicine, you have to reduce the insulin requirement, because still it will be working. Not 100%, but it will work to a certain amount, right? Still it will be working. So that is about the diabetes patients. Now coming to the heart patients, foundation diet or every day 15 minutes of breathing exercise. Anything can be breathing exercise. If you walk very fast, breathing exercise. Play badminton, breathing exercise, right? Or run, breathing exercise. Yoga, breathing exercise. Pranayama, breathing. Anything where you have to breathe unusually, more faster and deeper than what you do now, right now, what you are doing right now. So 15 minutes of sunshine, that is something which we neglect, right? You choose one thing, that when you, those who travel to the work, that you switch off the AC of the car. Let you sweat, right? Most of the diabetes patients, they miss their sunshine. And when you do this, together these three help the body to produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, it opens the collateral arteries. And also nitric oxide, what it does, that blockage, it slowly, it clears the blockage. It makes you heart attack proof, right? It makes you brain stroke proof. And the chronic patients, those who are having multiple disease, for example, those who are insulin dependent, or those who are taking diabetes, hypertension medication along with their heart medication. I mean, rather than only having a status of diabetes, you are having some more combination of illness as well, which is there most of the time. For them, step 1, you will do the foundation diet for 1 week. Step 2, after 1 week, you will find that you will get a reasonable relief from the diabetes, or 100% relief from diabetes. But still, you have to recover from other illness, maybe kidney patient along with that, or maybe hypertension along with that, or you are taking heart medicine along with that. So after 1 week, you can contact me, or you can contact here our representative in Malaysia, and here email ID is there, my email ID is there, and you can request that I have completed 1 week and this is my status. I have my blood sugar, my blood pressure. What should be the standard blood pressure? We test that. It should not be 120/80. The real one is 160/100. If it is less than that, without the influence of any medicine, you don't need hypertension medicine. 160/100, right? From where I got it? Cochrane. To get anything, you just type COCHRANE, Cochrane. And interestingly and importantly, in your country, Malaysia, there is a Cochrane in Penang. I told you already. I visited there, right? I know about it. So in Cochrane, what they say, 160/100, not 120/80. If you try to achieve 120/80, you're doing it at the cost of harming yourself. If naturally it is 120/80, it's okay. But somebody 140/90, which is not an illness, but you're still taking medication to make it 120/80, that is damaging, right? So here you can get in touch with me, and I will send you a DAM form. We call it diet and medication form. On that there will be some question. On the basis of the question, your response of 1 week, how the diet worked on you, my team will make a special diet depending on your metabolism of the body, and that you have to follow then on, right? For that we need not to meet. Through email only everything can be done, right? So here it seems to be very promising, but it seems to be so promising that sometimes people think that it may not be true, that within 3 days will I get that response. Within 7 days my blood pressure medicine will be, I can get rid of that. I'll give you one interesting experience. Mangalore University, one of the very well-known university of India, once they told me that you say that you can help people recovering from diabetes within 72 hours. They agreed that yes, diabetes can be cured and you can reverse the diabetes, but just 72 hours, that is something, it seems to be untrue. So they challenged me, okay, we'll give you a professor who is a diabetes patient taking 36 units of insulin, and you be here as a guest in university and you do whatever you want to do in the food to the professor, he will agree. And then let's see what happens in 3 days. So here you see, this is my photo, right? And this is Dr. B.M. Hegde, who is the chairman of this committee, Dr. B.M. Hegde is the most well-known scientist of the world. You can type B.M. Hegde, you'll find that in all the best university of the world, he is a professor, still a professor. He had been vice chancellor of one of the biggest university of India, right? Manipal University. So, Padma Bhushan, one of the most well-known name in medical field, not in India, but all over the world. And C.K. Raju, he is the one who gave the first supercomputer to India. So I mean this is my photo, all rest of them, these are all distinguished scientists, right? In front of them, that man, the professor, right? And he followed for 3 days, and it was organized in 1st of December 2015 to 5th of December. Since that day, it is today, right? 10th, he has never taken any medicine, any insulin. At the beginning also in my introduction, you were told about that story. What I mean to say, it works. Only in one case it will not work if you don't do it. If you do it, you expect it will work on you, on your health, on your body weight, on your pain management, blockage revival. It will work at every level. So, sometime, here I say the most important thing is avoid animal protein. Milk product and animal protein. So those who are animal lovers, lover means not loving the animal, eating the animal. Right? So killing the animal then eating it, animal lovers, right? So I suggest that remember that animal food is having kind of protein, and that protein, it is the protein, we are animal or we are plant? We are animal. So our protein resembles the protein of other animals. Sometimes our immunity, they want to kill that protein, but in turn, in confusion, they start killing our protein, especially the beta cells of the pancreas. That is what is the diabetes is called, especially the diabetes type 1. So I always suggest that you avoid animal protein, means animal food, egg, chicken, all those things. But if you cannot live without it, so you can eat it once or twice or at the most thrice a week, but not every day, every meal you are taking it, right? So, but some of you, like me, I had been eating animal food since my childhood, in every meal, since that is a custom in my family, Bengali. We have to eat meat. But now it had been 10 years not eating any animal food. So I know that if you stop eating something for 21 days, brain will switch off that trigger, that craving signal. At the same time, if you start eating something for 21 days again, brain will trigger a new signal for a craving. For example, you don't like apple or banana, but still you manage to eat it for 21 days. On 22nd day, brain will give a trigger that where is that mango? Where is that banana? Like alcohol, wine, just imagine when you took it for the first time, was it really tasty? No, it was hopeless, worthless. So, but your friends, your people around, they encouraged you 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 21 day, and 22nd day you just had a sip, oh, it is so tasty. Right? Even the smoking like that. The first cigarette always, the people, they get it free. Right? But for some day, and then, right, it becomes a habit. Brain starts the signal. In the same way, brain takes 21 days to cut the signal. Sometimes some parent says, you are saying that your body, your brain, it can create a habit in 21 days. My child goes to school now, it is many years, but every day in the morning I really have to work hard to get him up. Why? The brain did not give the habit. With the school, the problem is, after every Saturday there is Sunday, which is holiday. And the mother says, okay, today you can sleep till 10 a.m. So, in a sequence, there has to be 21 days without a miss. Right? You do one experiment today. You put a 5 o'clock alarm. And you commit to yourself, the moment alarm will ring, I will not go to bed again. No matter what. Do it for 21 days. 22nd day, don't put the alarm. What do you expect? Automatically, it will be difficult for you to remain on bed after 5 a.m. So what I mean to say, what is tasty? That nothing is tasty or tasteless. Anything which you do on a continuous basis, brain say it is tasty. Anything which you stop for a few days, brain says it is not required. Right? So, it is a matter of how you do it, you pursue the thing. Nothing can be tasty forever, nothing can be tasteless forever for that matter. Thing in itself cannot be tasty or tasteless. Your habit, right? So many times people say, I always eat healthy food. But what do you mean by healthy food? In Vietnam, healthy food means snakes. And sometimes monkeys. Dog. Or dog also. right? That is healthy food. So your definition of healthy food may change from place to place. Similarly, what is tasty, right? They find a snake are very tasty, but do you really think so, right? Now, so some month back, I was invited in Thailand. This is my team in Thailand, and every year they organize elephant festival where all the elephant collect, right? So I was a guest of honor there. You can see my picture here. So these are elephant, and this is the elephant doctor, right? Dr. Pitara. I was always curious about one thing, diabetes. I asked, do elephants suffer from diabetes? So answer was no, obviously. Then I said, what about hypertension? She said that there is no instrument made till now which can check the blood pressure of the elephant. Anyway, any heart disease or heart disease death, say an elephant never suffer from heart disease as well. Cancer, no, elephant don't suffer from cancer also. Then I asked then why, I thought that why this doctor is needed then. So while I was thinking, there was a announcement happening. My attention went to that announcement. The announcement was, don't serve human food to the animals, elephant, they will get sick. Only in one condition animal will become sick, when you start giving them biscuit, when you start giving them human food, right? Or you start giving them bread, etc. That is the only case when one can be sick. So if it is made by human, don't eat, right? If it is made by God, eat. Simple rule, right? If this all looks complicated. So when I went to this place, Surin, I found that they eat, what they eat, they roast the cockroach and they eat it, right? So they say that is a healthy and tasty food. So what is tasty? It depends on what you eat, what you had been eating. So remember, nothing is tasty. It is just what you made the brain understand that this should be tasty. If that is so, it can be changed, isn't it? For the sake of your health. So after a few days, you are eating healthy food as well as tasty. Healthy means VIP and DIP. The kind of food which behaves like VIP, the kind of food which behaves like DIP. So here, once you do it, I have seen with my experience of my patient, whether it is a cancer patient or asthma patient or a heart patient, the number of days they may need to get cured, that may vary. But one thing is sure, you will get rid of the medicine and the disease itself, right? So slowly and slowly it will catch, I know, but it will take time. And one thing interesting I have seen all over, that the mainstream media, they will never support this idea because there is no money involved in the idea. And once in India, the few newspapers they supported because they were my friend. So then next day they stopped getting the advertisement from the pharmaceutical company, from the hospital industry, and that is a big loss. If they don't get any advertisement, 50% of the advertisement money comes from these kind of industries, right? So here also when I came, I'll introduce Lakshmi, right? Yeah, you just I think please come. 1:30 you came and you just explained your story, that once you saw one of the video in YouTube, right, similar to what you have seen now, and you experimented on yourself, and I want that in 2 minutes you just motivate and say your own example.
Okay, when I explained to him that I did the 72-hour raw diet, but I didn't have a weighing machine, so I didn't weigh the food, but I only ate raw food, following the recipe that was on the internet. I must say that now in this 1 month, I feel very, very well. And until I heard him today, I didn't have the confidence to go and look at my blood sugar. I have to answer that honestly, because I was still looking for a reading of 5.6 for fasting sugar. So I was dead scared, but now I think I'm okay, I can go and look at it now. But I feel very well. I feel very light and I don't feel bloated anymore. And as he says, the plate too has become bigger. Yeah? That I can eat the same amount that I was eating before as cooked food. And I can eat this amount of raw food and cooked food together as well. So I feel very, very healthy and very well. Yeah.
Thank you. So with that we come to the conclusion of this today's first part of the training. That is now comes the question answer round.
My first question is, you took at the raw food that I'm taking at lunch and at dinner, I've actually included fruit in the raw food. Is that okay, or only raw vegetable?
Yeah, you divide, first is till 12 noon, only fruits.
Yeah.
But what will happen if you eat vegetable? Nothing bad, but I suggest don't mix fruits and vegetables together.
Oh, okay.
But because if you do so, body will need more energy or more effort to metabolize it. So keep fruits separate and keep vegetables separate, number one. Number two, fruits, anytime food. Even in the middle of the night you feel hungry, you can still eat the fruits. Till 12 noon, definitely you have to eat fruits, and after that also you can eat fruits, but don't mix. Let's say you ate vegetable right now and now you're eating fruits. So that is little bit of more burden on the stomach, that's it.
Okay, so I mean if I make a salad with fruit and vegetable, that's not really ideal.
It is not bad, but not ideal.
Yes. Not ideal. Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I'll correct that. And the other thing is, you talked about milk. Yeah, like for me, for many years, I've just taken 1 cup of tea a day with maybe a little bit of milk. So will that make a substantial difference in the diabetes reading?
Yes, here I allow a little bit of cheating. Yeah, how to cheat, right, and how much, so that you are a part of the social circumstance also. Sometimes you go to somewhere, some house and say, no, I will eat only DIP diet, and then start explaining what is DIP diet.
Yeah.
Next time he will not invite you to his house, right? So you have to be careful there. So here cheating. If you want to eat or drink tea, so after 12 noon, make one rule. Okay, I'll have tea, definitely, but after 12 noon. Before that, the first thing which you eat in the morning, that works the biggest, right, impact, right, either good or bad. So the first thing have to be good only, and that can be the fruits. So decide that, okay, I will have tea, maybe at 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the evening. It's okay, 2 times a tea or coffee, whatever. But till 12 noon, no tea, coffee, and even then some of you feel headache if you don't take the first early morning coffee and tea. You can exchange that, replace that with Hunza tea. Hunza tea recipe you will get when you get the card. It is very simple, and it's so simple that even a child can make it if they read the recipe, and it will help you to stop the craving of the tea, and it will help you to replace the tea with the Hunza tea. That you can have 10 times a day, right, if you want to. So yes, you can have tea. That's cheating. That is.
Okay, the other one about the raw vegetables, they say, can you sprout the lentils and have it together with the raw vegetables?
Yeah,
Is that acceptable?
Sprouts are mini plants having all the good qualities. I recommend each one of us should eat every day about 50 grams of any type of sprouts. Especially you can add it to the vegetable as you're doing, or you can have it separately also as a snacks anytime when you feel like snacking, like 5 p.m. right? You may be hungry because already you had lunch 2-3 hours before, and after 2 hours going to have dinner. In that time you can use sprouts as a filler, or you can add it to the vegetable as you suggested.
Okay, thank you.
The first thing, now you said plate 1, plate 2. Plate 2 I can have whatever I want.
Yes, yes.
But you also said no meat and things. So
Yeah.
now, can I be accepted as anything I want?
Now, here, in what case accepted, what case not? Ideally, no animal food. Ideally. That is the highest level of food is no animal food. But let's say we are habitual of meat and we cannot live without it. Then what kind of animal food which is least harmful? Less number of legs, better is you can take. So, for example, pork, 4 legs, very bad. Better it is chicken, only 2 legs. Better fish, no legs.
Okay.
So, if you really decide that I have to eat animal food, then how to choose? I just gave you a lot of guideline. Then you have to choose out of animal, land animal or sea animal. Choose a sea animal. For example, among the sea animal, octopus the last. Right? Sometimes some people say snakes, no leg. But snake is having 1,000 micro legs. That means it is an indication. It is a poison. Don't take it. Right now, coming back to your question, if you are diabetes without insulin, just diabetes, simple. Then if you add little bit of meat means animal food, right? Every alternate day, only one meal, that is not going to harm. But certainly I will say that in every meal you are thinking of taking animal food, it is certainly not good. In long run, it will make you either heart patient or kidney patient, something for sure. So make a middle path. Okay, decide every alternate day in the dinner I can have little bit of animal food, the food which is least harmful with the lesser number of legs or something which I told you. So that arrangement, a mid path you can decide. Yeah, that much flexibility we can give only in the patient who are not a severe patient. Just a simple diabetes patient, it's okay. Just a simple hypertension, it's okay. Yeah.
What about for the children? For children right now, growing up children, do you know? I mean, if we tell the children from today onwards, no more all this, they're going to run away from home.
Yeah. Yes, yes. First of all, children, it is not easy to make them understand because they are influenced by so many factors. I understand that. And for that, my wife, she made a recipe book, right, for the children. That is tasty, that is healthy, and that will protect their health, and also that will give the nourishment they require, right? Although they comply to all the rules. So those who want that, right? So you write in the feedback form one, or you like my Facebook page, right? There you will find those recipe, and if you cannot find, you just write here. I will send you a link, right? Through that link, you can access those kind of a recipe which you can experiment on yourself, on your kids, and surely some of the recipe the kid will like, right? So that way you have to really put an effort to get some result.
Okay, the third one is for those of us who work. It might be a bit hard to be able to, for the second half of the day, you know, for your dinner, for your, you know, when you're out working, you need to take your food out, lunch, and it's going to be a bit hard to find food that's like this. And most of us have to just rush and get this. That's one. Secondly, what happens if, because of work, the after 8 o'clock night dinner comes into place? What do we do to minimize this or to counter, or are there any formulas that we can do to counter this?
Here, first of all, for example, in my case, my routine is really unpredictable, and in 1 month I stay about 20 days out of country or out of city, 10 days only in house. Right? Today I am here, on 12th I'll go back to India, on 15th I am in Vietnam. In Vietnam also, in every third day I'll travel to another city, in sometimes Hanoi, sometimes Ho Chi Minh, like that. So it is really hectic, unpredictable, and many times the people, like this, the first time we are having together the program, the new organizer. But I made a plan. I call it a 1-2-3 diet, and in that diet it is tasty, it is healthy, and you are not dependent on anybody else. Neither no situation can matter, and no circumstance will disturb you. What I do, 1-2-3 diet, and quickly I'll tell you. 1 represents breakfast. I decide breakfast only one kind of fruit in 700 grams. So while coming from the airport to here, but this time Silverani, they gave a lot of fruits. Almost for the next 10 days I can eat, right? So, but if that did not happen someplace, so while coming from airport to hotel, I calculate I will be here for 3 days, 700 grams into 3. I made my own calculation, about 3 kg, because I have to take off the outer right portion. So that way I decide 1 represents the fruit, right? Only one type of fruit a day. Today I'll eat only apple, 700 grams. Tomorrow only banana, or something which is available, right? And 2, 1-2-3 diet. 2 represent vegetable, raw vegetable. Any 2 vegetable, that 2 I buy while on the route to the hotel. For example, the easy is tomato and cucumber, about 400 or 500 or 600 grams. 3 represent the dinner. Dinner is always in 3 parts. Part 1, about 200 grams of raw vegetable, which I have already bought. Part 2, leaves. 3 to 4 types of leaves, especially for insulin dependent patient. Any 4 kind of green leaves in about 100 grams. The recipe is there in the card, which is very easy. You can do it. You can buy it, keep it. Sometimes I buy in the India, pack it in my luggage and keep it here in the tiffin, right? And that lasts for 2 days, 3 days, right? And even sprouts, right? Even nuts, even coconut, these kind of things which are very small and dense food, which can be kept in a small box, and that box you can finish in 3 days, 4 days trip, it is okay, enough for that. So I plan myself, like, you know, ladies when they go out, they have a bag, a lipstick is there, a comb is there, something. Similarly, in my bag I have a inner makeup box, in which a juicer is there, a knife is there, right? Although here, I know a very cooperative and helpful and friendly organizer, so they will arrange everything for me. I have a liberty of not bringing it, but That kind of arrangement I make. Like so that kind of pre-planning you have to make only once, and then it is part of it. And wherever I am in this world, the moment it is 7 o'clock, I start eating. Right? If somebody is sitting, I give one tomato to him also. Right? So next time he understand, he will escape, because otherwise he has to eat a tomato which he will not like to. Right? So I try to make people around me know what kind of food I am in. For example, alcoholic person always gets an alcoholic friend wherever he goes in the world. Right? Similarly, when you start doing it, people will notice it and they will not disturb when they know that you are doing something special, which is important for you. It is your responsibility. Like medicine, whatever it may matter, wherever you may be in the world, at the right time you take the insulin, you take the blood sugar reading, isn't it? Right? You buy it, you keep it in the fridge. So if you can do it for insulin, if you can do it for medicine, why don't you do it for the food? So it is just a block in the brain that I may not be able to do it, but I say, since I am very busy, it is easy for me to follow this 1, 2, 3 diet rather than following any. Let's say I want to eat biryani, chicken biryani, where I'll find, right? I want to eat rajma masala, where I'll find. I want to eat kofta, where I'll find. But this kind of thing, wherever, in whichever part of the world, you are not dependent on any third person or second person, you are dependent on yourself. But start doing it, and you do 50%, not even 100%. Sometimes you can skip some cheating because you are not so sick that you are bedridden. So, even if you do, make a simple rule. Till lunch, I'll follow what you learned here, DIP diet. In dinner, let me be flexible. Flexible of time, flexible of food. Even you do 50%, still it will work. Still it will work.
Which was going to come down to my next question. It links that way, right? When we say 50%, that means, because in business and all that, it's most likely every day is going to be 50%. Dinner, whatever, you got clients and so on and so forth, right? So now, I am on cholesterol tablets, Lipitor, 20 and 10 alternate, right? So if I start this, right, and it's 50%,
okay,
how much do I reduce?
One thing I'll talk in short, the answer to the question. If any of you are on cholesterol drug, cholesterol lowering drug, just throw it out. Cholesterol lowering drug. Nobody in this world needs cholesterol lowering drug, right? So, but here the time is limited, but in short I'll say, cholesterol comes in the body two ways. One, the body makes it. One, you eat cholesterol. Cholesterol, the power God has given only to animal to produce cholesterol. This means when you eat meat, chicken or fish or milk product, then you are eating cholesterol. But here in this DIP diet, already I said restrict, limit that. This means now vegetable plants are not having that power to produce cholesterol. You are animal, your body is producing cholesterol. The amount of cholesterol body produces on the basis of how much you need. Cholesterol is the most important chemical in the world. You see egg, you give it to the laboratory and say what is inside it which convert that into a live a bird. 62% of the energy comes from cholesterol and the rest 38 from protein, carbohydrate, everything else. If a lady, her cholesterol is dropped little bit, she cannot get pregnant. So important. So it is called X category drug. So this means anybody who want to get pregnant, they should not take cholesterol lowering drug. My answer to your question, throw the cholesterol drug right away. Right? It makes the person impotent also. Right? Throw the cholesterol drug. You don't need it. If you want to know more about it, you can go to my YouTube channel. 2-hour training I've given on cholesterol itself. 2 hours. So, but that is in Hindi. But if you want in English, very soon my book will come. But till then, that time, right? For your sake, throw the cholesterol drug. Nobody on earth needs cholesterol drug. It is just a hoax, right?
Because I have a slight question, a slight concern with that. If I was following this on 100% diet, right, then the comfort is there. But if it's only 50% in a day, that I can do that. And the other thing is, yeah, I'm, you know, medical hoax, all this kind of stuff. But it's proven that if, for those people who take cholesterol tablets and you stop, cholesterol shoots up twice the amount at a very fast pace. That has been proven.
Don't check cholesterol.
Don't check anymore. Right?
No, don't check it. Lipid profile not required. Not required. And one thing. And higher cholesterol means higher sickness. There is no connection. Higher blood sugar means higher sickness. There is connection. But if you see the documents produced by WHO, higher cholesterol do not have any connection with your blood sugar. For example, your shoe size is having nothing to do with your health. right?
No,
Your
your
shoe size can be anything. So to point you out, cholesterol level can be anything, right? Lipid profile is not having any correlation with your health. Yes, a low cholesterol for a woman to get pregnant, there can be an obstacle, not the high cholesterol, not even in the heart, not even in the heart. But yes, sometimes the fat deposit, sometimes the calcium deposit, but that happens when you take too much of animal food, right? So as it is, I'm saying, reduce the quantity of intake of animal food, increase the quantity of plant food, as it is. So don't worry about cholesterol.
Even if I do this 50%, yeah? Even if I do this diet only 50% a day.
Yeah.
It's
50% reasonable. I've seen people reasonably. 50% will be like this, that till lunch, I'll follow whatever you say, plate 1 and plate 2 type, and the breakfast. Only in the dinner, you can deviate to your conventional kind of habits.
That's good enough. Okay, just a last question. Q10, fish oil, is it still considered nutritional supplements?
Answer is no. I'll give you one small example to make you understand. Any kind of oil, when you heat it, it becomes damaging to the body. Whether it is Q10 oil, whether it is safola or whatever, dalda, whatever kind of oil. Once it is heated, it all become equal poison. So if you really want to take any oil, then take the one which is cheapest. At least don't waste your money, right? So all oil are same, equally damaging.
Q10 as well, yeah?
Not needed. It will not do any good to you.
One of the things I have to learn strength in my personal experience, especially on milk. I never know that I was lactose intolerance. From young, I've been taking condensed milk with Milo, but every time I take it, my reaction is so fast that I have to hunt for a drink while going to school. And I had this problem even when I was grown up to in the mid-20s. One day someone told me I'm lactose intolerant. I said, cannot be. Then I think about it. Every morning I have that and I have this problem. And the thing I just want to share is that I skip milk as in dairy milk. But maybe I forgot a little bit about the dairy chocolates. Yeah. But it helped me because 6 months after I've avoided milk, my body resisted. Something happened wonderful, miraculously. I could take on milk after that, but I still go on very moderation. Yeah. So definitely, I attest to that. Milk product is definitely not a very good thing to be that we should try to. I think we should avoid.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to clarify something about nuts and seeds. It's supposed to be healthy, right?
What?
So, nuts and seeds.
Yes.
It's supposed to be healthy, right? Can we take that as our snack food?
Yeah, but it should not be roasted, it should not be fried, it should be raw form.
Yeah,
and
okay,
it should
so
be
raw
mostly
form.
should be soaked in water for a few hours, 2-3 hours.
You mean like almonds, cashews
Yes,
and all that?
all
Why?
the nuts soaked in water for some time, then you consume it. That is the one, because look, nuts, they are a condensed food, they are like this. And the nutrition is like this. Very difficult for the body to open the nutrition. So when you put in water for a few hours, the nutrition become like this, readily available to the body. So if you are taking it for your health, let the nutrition be in available form by putting it in water for 2-3 hours.
Okay, another thing is, they say usually when you're on a vegan diet for long term, you have to take B12 because you will be lacking in B12. Is that true?
Now coming to B12, vitamin B12, there are two things. Now, for example, all the other animals, those are also vegan. They live on plants only, right? So from what source they are getting vitamin B12? Their body produces themselves. Now recently scientists came to know that vitamin B12 our body also produces. So now it is being given a new name, hormone. It is being, rather than calling as a vitamin is something which body cannot produce, right? So now it is being put in a different category as a hormone. Hormone is something which body produces. So now in last only 2-3 years scientists came to know that even our body, like any other animal, can produce and is producing vitamin B12. So if that is so, that you don't need, because God has made that arrangement for our body to produce itself as it is required. All the other animals also do like this.
Okay, my last question is, when you take vegetables, right, raw vegetables, do you take any dressing with it?
No, no dressing, yes.
Totally not.
God has already cooked the food, right, in its form. You cannot be a better cook than the God. So
even your leafy greens, you take it without
so
dressing?
Try to enjoy the taste prepared by the God. Right? Don't try to compete with it. And after some time, maybe first 2 days you will find it a little difficult to consume. But after some time you will start finding it tasty. You start loving that food. Right? So on the way, if you see in the street there is someone selling tomato, you'll feel like taking up and eating. Right? As now it happens for a chocolate in your case. Right? So what I want to say, don't add salt, don't add any kind of dressings, so that it works 100%, and you will find it tasty also, but for that you have to give your body, your tongue, your brain little chance.
Okay. Oh yeah, because I saw in one of your videos, you said that for a few years we're actually taking non-organic vegetables and fruits, right? But now you're taking more organic stuff. So did that actually make any difference when you switch from non-organic to organic?
Yeah, if we are able to take the fruits and vegetable and food in a purest form, without any chemical indulgence, without any fertilizer, that is the best form. But unfortunately, in city like KL or city like New Delhi, right, we don't get access to the real raw food in an organic form, right? But even in the condition, whatever form of food we are getting right now, like the fruits and vegetables right now you're getting from the market, which is supposed to have a lot of pesticide, etc. But I've shown you a video where you found that the juice, there was some twinkling star. Do you remember that? So while the food is traveling, the fruit and vegetable traveling, right, this pipe, at that time that live enzyme, they catch hold of the chemical and fertilizer, right, and if from the stomach it takes it away to the colon, out of the body. So if you suspect that your food is not pure, it is having some contamination, some chemical, some fertilizer, then it becomes even more important for you to eat it raw, so that soldiers you eat, and the soldiers, the live enzyme, they help you to clear that fertilizer, first of all. Secondly, when you cook, that soldier are died. But when you cook, the chemical still remain the same. Many people, they believe that when you cook a food, somehow the chemical, they vanish. Somehow it becomes pure. Or some people say the chemical die, but chemical cannot die because it is already dead. That thing cannot die again. So, when you cook the food, you do nothing good. The chemical, the pesticide remains the same, only one thing changes, that is the live enzyme, they die. The one who was supposed to protect you from those chemicals. That is one thing. Second part of the answer is that those people who are aware, we start some action. Okay, start finding some organic food store, encourage them to grow and buying it, even if it is a little bit expensive, right? Always I say in all my training that one is to complain, talk about the problem, other is be a part of the solution, little bit at least. So how to do it? Like me and my friends, we took a small land, very small land on rent, started producing some vegetable, which is about 20% of my diet if I stay there, just to do something positive in that direction. So together we have to think of ways, and if we demand something, the supply will come definitely.
The first is that you're talking about a supplement of the milk to a nut milk. And my question that you asked, you told us about almond, and I asked you about how about soya? All right, can we do it in soya milk too?
Yes. Soya, one is soya is not a poison, it is a good food. But there is one small problem with that soya. That soya, it tends to disturb the menstruation cycle in girls. And it tends to make the men, the sperm quality poorer. Why it is so, then it is a matter of investigation, but that is a proven thing. So always, if asked like this, I ask my participant, avoid soya as much as you can. Right? So why it happens, there are several explanations, but the truth is, the fertility, right? It do something to the body, that fertility, it goes down.
My second question is about food, the fruits that you're telling us to eat breakfast and lunch and the vegetables, things like that. Instead of eating, can we juice it?
Can you juice it? Yes, yes. Now, yeah, you can do it. The answer is yes. But when you juice it, you have to be careful about, don't filter the fiber, one.
Yeah, okay.
And then when you drink it, drink as if you're drinking a wine, slowly. Not like a water in one go. It should take 10 minutes. If you can do it, then even juice is allowed. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Basically, when I say yogurt is like live bacteria, so can we add it into our diet as well?
Yogurt is, what is it? It is milk product, right?
Yeah,
So,
when they say
yeah.
live bacteria is good for you, because
Yeah.
when you have stomach,
Whenever they want to sell something, they have to say something good about it. Don't believe it, first of all.
Okay.
Right? So, in yogurt, beside it may have a live good bacteria that you have to ask the bacteria whether it is good or bad. Right? But assuming it is good bacteria, the problem with the dairy product is it may change the shape. It may become a cheese. It may become a sweet, or in this case a curd. But the protein remains the same. The chemical structure remains the same. That is called casein. The chemical structure of the milk, casein, is similar to the chemical structure of the protein of the pancreatic cell. So brain, sometimes they give a signal to the body to kill that protein of the milk. But our immunity, they confuse that protein with the protein of our own pancreas. And for some children, the pancreatic cells are being sacrificed, right? So that is one of the disadvantages of having milk and milk product. And to add to it, whatever I told you, when you eat vegetable, again you get some good bacteria automatically. If you eat it live without heating it, when you heat it, the bacteria and all those live good germs, which we call germ or which we call microscopic organism, they die when you heat it, right? So that's why I encourage people to eat it in the natural state. Yeah, if you want to eat a lot of good bacteria, right? So don't depend on curd, even if we assume that bacteria may be good.
okay. So the other one is like when we are having our foundation diet, right? Can we have this nut milk together, as in when you say, for example, in between I'm hungry, can I have this nut milk? After 12
yeah, it can be used as snacking time. Whenever, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Oh, so it's not a problem if I want to have a nut milk?
Yes, you can
so
have it.
That's not an issue. What about eggs, doctor?
What?
Eggs.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Again, eggs in animal food, right? So I discourage people to have eggs. The problem with the animal food is the most important problem is the protein. I told you already, the protein of any animal is very similar to the protein of our body. And it is called autoimmune disease. The brain triggers autoimmune disease, right? As a result of few things, one of them is responsible thing is animal food. If you find somebody suffering from asthma, if you find somebody suffering from skin rashes, right, or any other autoimmune disease, ask them to stop animal food, including dairy product. The disease vanishes, right? So avoid anything where there can be animal protein, including egg. Once in a while, that is once in a week, say, just for a change, you go to the picnic, then you enjoy it, it's okay. I call it cheating, allowed once in a week, right? Somebody asks wine, okay, once in a week, cheating, right? Assuming that you are not too sick, right?
And my last question is, do vegetarians get diabetes as well?
Yeah. You see, even vegan, you see, fat vegetarian,
Yep.
right? Everything is oily, right? So I am saying when you eat vegetable in raw form, that is what is food. When you eat it cooked form, it becomes food. When you eat it in raw form, it becomes medicine, right? So vegetarian itself will not guarantee any health. But when you eat the food in a state in which God has created it, only then it will guarantee to work as a medicine to prevent disease and to reverse disease, most important. Right? If somebody is sick, he will be cured. If somebody is not sick, he will never be sick.
Okay, doctor, when you say raw means like green veggies, right? Do you put them in a hot water and remove them, or just clean and eat?
Yeah, first best is when you eat it as such, without doing anything. Second best is when you steam it. Somebody may not have good teeth to chew,
Okay.
old person, so they can chew it. They can steam it, and then third best is boil it, right? But that is third best, not the best one, right?
Okay.
And then one more way you just suggested, juicing the fruits. Means somebody, they may be lazy to eat and chew, like a cow, right? Many patients, they come and complain of my family member saying you went to the seminar and you came back as a cow, right? I think that you went to cure diabetes, but now that we think that there is some problem in your brain, right? These kind of things, you may come across these kind of, but then you have to be having a strong willpower, right? Once in a while you can go for a cheating. I call once in a week, it's okay. Twice in a week is okay. Something which you do on a continuous basis is the one which affects your body, whether good or bad. Something which you do off and on. Maybe once in a week you go to the gym. Do you think you will have a good body? No. Right? Once in 1 month you go to the dance class. You cannot learn dance. Right? Something on continuous basis, right, affect you, whether food or anything else. So cheating, you can have egg once in a while.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How does this food that you are suggesting can reverse the arteries, blocked arteries?
Yeah. Now, understand, arteries, calcium, fat, cholesterol, they keeps on depositing on it, right? How do I explain? I'll explain on a sheet, okay. Look here. You take any fat you take from animal, fat you take from plants, right? And put under the microscope. The fat from the animal, they look like this. And fat from plant, they look like this. No shape. Fat from animal, fat from plants. Now, if I give you both animal fat and plant fat, ask you to arrange it one over the other. Which one is easy for you to arrange? Animal or plant? Animal, right? So when in the blood the fatty acid, they flow, animal fatty acid, it is easier, they get stuck to the blood vessel one over the other. And that is the result is called blockage, right? But what I am saying, stop animal food, that means you are stopping animal fat as well. Now the plant fat, they cannot get stuck, first of all, right? Because of the shape, right? Second, when they flow, they touches the innermost layer of the blood vessel, as you know, right? And I told you about nitric oxide. If the body produces nitric oxide, only then the blockage get cleared. Which organ produces nitric oxide? It is the inner layer of the blood vessel, right? When the plant fat, it flows touching the inner layer, which is responsible for producing nitric oxide, it produces immense amount of nitric oxide, which in turn, it clear the blockage. How much time it takes? So you heard Bill Clinton, he mentioned the name of colchicine, from where he got the idea of this diet. So I asked colchicine that please give me the diet exactly what Bill Clinton took. And then I asked, it was similar to what I already shared with you. Suppose some heart patient, doctor told 2 of the arteries are 100% blocked. Many times patient come to me. Okay, doctor told me 100% blocked, what should I do? This means there is no chance that it will increase further, right? So don't worry. It can only decrease. So just don't worry. So I asked colchicine that how much time it takes for the clearing the blockage. His answer was 1 meal. The moment you start doing it from tomorrow, the body will work on cleansing the blockage. How? By producing more amount of nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is responsible for clearing the blockage that is being established in Nobel Prize winning science 1998. But how it does it chemically, that becomes another story. If you are interested, you can read my book Heart Mafia. Heart Mafia book dedicated to this kind of question. Or I can send the PDF as well. It is available freely in the internet also, my book, Heart Mafia. So that is the thing. So if you find anybody with a heart blockage, just ask him to start the diet from tomorrow, the next day. And every day he'll be better than before.
I am on hypertension medication 1.25 gram, okay, for my high blood pressure. So if I go on this diet, can I straight away stop that medication? Because I'm told that if you stop hypertension medicine, you get a stroke. So
now I'll answer in 2 parts. One is, off and on, every month we organize a 3 days camp for such kind of patient like you, 3 days camp. hypertension, diabetes, all that. Every month. Now it is on, I think, 17th, 18th, 19th in Ho Chi Minh City, right? So in India and Vietnam we do it. And the first condition is that I told you, they have to eat mango of 2 kg. Second condition is they have to throw the medicine outside our camp. I mean, they have to give it to us, right? And many of them are patients like you, taking hypertension, and they came up with the same question. One time my friend, he asked me, suppose you ask them to get rid of the medicine and then allow, if sometime, unfortunately, something happened like this in your camp, then what will happen, right? So, destined to have heart attack on that day. But suppose I asked him not to take the heart attack medicine, that high blood pressure medicine, then everybody will relate because he has not taken that medicine, so he got the heart attack, right? And you will be, even if you are not responsible, but ultimately you will be in jail. My answer is, to your question also, I asked this question to Colby's team. He said, the moment the person start with the green leaves, which I suggested, green leaves produce the nitric oxide to the extent that the person comes in a protective zone. Even if otherwise he was destined to have heart attack on that particular day, that will be skipped. So the moment you are on this diet, you are in a protective zone already. The very moment, the same day, that is tomorrow, safely, easily, you can discard the hypertension medicine. But what kind of protection? In that card, I have given a green delight, a recipe of 4 kind of leaves and about 200 grams, 100 to 200 grams, right? 100 grams each in lunch and dinner. If you can do it, that produces maximum amount of nitric oxide, and that ensures from day one you are in a protective zone, right? So that kind of heart attack will not happen, first of all. Secondly, those who are taking hypertension medicine, can they guarantee that they will not suffer from heart attack? Can they guarantee? Among them, many of them, they die of heart attack, isn't it? Right? So many times, patients, they ask me, doctor, you are saying to get rid of these medicines. Are you taking the guarantee that something will happen? I say that if you go to the doctor, many times my patient, they go back, many of you may go back to doctor, okay, I met someone, he says, oh, you don't need medicine. The first response of the doctor will be, if you don't take those medicines, if you stop it, then I am not responsible, something happened to you. I ask the patient or my participant, go back and ask, okay, I'll take all the medicine. Are you responsible now? He said, if you take medicine, then even, right, then even I am not responsible, even 1%. Whether you take medicine according to doctor or if you don't take medicine according to doctor, right, only you are responsible. He is not responsible anyway, right? So responsibility is yours. And it is an illusion, I am taking hypertension medicine, so I'll be all right. If that is so, thousands of people, they had been taking hypertension medicine, still, even then they suffer heart attack, right? So, but to conclude here, this answer, the moment you start the diet, including that green leaves, the recipe, you are in a protective zone, need not to worry about it. And yes, I suggest you check your blood pressure almost every alternate day. If it is less than 160/100 without the interference of the medicine, then you discontinue, then you let it be discontinued. First you have to discontinue to know how much is your blood pressure without the interference of that medicine and with this diet. If it is managing below 160/100, then you are in a safe, need not to worry. If it is more than that, then you have to adjust that dose, little bit you have to take so that it is in zone between before 160/100, below 160/100.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Biswaroop, for a beautiful talk. So, I'm Sharon. Basically, I want to ask something medically. So, where did you get the 72 hours? Is it based on, why is it not 48 hours or 36 hours?
Yeah. This is based on my interaction. It can, for many of them, it can be 24 hours. For some of them, it can be 1 week. Especially the child of diabetes type 1. Instead of 3 days, I say 1 week. You have to taper it down to 1 week. Small, 20 unit of insulin, then 10 unit, then 9, 5, like that. For some, 10% of the patient, in spite of doing all the effort, still they have to keep on taking medicine, right, for lifelong. So they are not cured in 72 hours or 1 week or 1 month. I think it is catchy, that is one thing. And second is my interaction with T. Colin Campbell. He said, and I also experienced that most of the patients, they come in 3 days range.
Average of them.
Average of 3 days, 72 hours. So safely we can say it's 72 hours. So also we have created 72 hours diabetes camp. That's why we created 72 hours, not 48 hours, not 100 hours, right? But my experience says within 72 hours, definite majority of them, they're able to skip their medicine. That's why. But it is not that it is just 72 hours. It varies from patient to patient.
Okay. So do you have clinical based study for the diabetes, right?
Yes, yes.
Is it also, do you did any study for the hypertensive and also for the, for cholesterol medication as well, like for hyperlipidemia as well?
Yes, yes. For
publish your
hypertension,
study.
yeah. The most important thing for diabetes or hypertension, cholesterol, the study is already done. I'll give one example. For example, in US, the colchicine, he has already published a lot of study in mainstream medical journal to the extent that now in US, if you take this route of curing, this is also insured, food as medicine. You will get the insurance and the food, you will get the insurance for the food because food as medicine is already approved in FDA now, right? So these kind of whatever you learned now is already having all those FDA approval as any other medicine have, all highest amount of approval to the extent that it also covered by the health insurance policy in FDA and US. So already a lot of studies are available, number one. Number two, when you see this DVD, I have given those references. Number three, I have written a book, Diabetes Type 1 and Type 2 Cure in 72 Hours. For heart, I have written a book, Heart Mafia, right? So for cholesterol, my book is about to come. And that book is giving the reference of all those journals who has published the report. I say medical science is different from medical industry. What commonly you know is what medical industry teach you. But I am talking about medical science. Medical science still says diabetes is curable. Only medical industry claims it is reversible but not curable. Try to understand. Medical science says type 1 is curable. I have all those medical journal report. Last Days of Diabetes, my book, which recently launched, Last Days of Diabetes. E-book is available or I can send the PDF. Yeah.
So it's based on patient-based
Yeah, it is based on
or it's just the book you publish?
No, my book is based on all the medical journals report. It is not my personal experience.
Not your personal.
Like any other doctor, what you learn in the medical school or through the medical journal and with your own experience, then you forward it to the patients. Similarly, it is not my opinion. That is not important. It is what is the medical science says, right? What T. Colin Campbell says and Colvin says, they say something which is already there in medical journal, or if not, they proved it and put it in medical journal. I just collected it, and like Bill Clinton.
Like you did a meta-analysis of that, like.
Yeah, even meta-analysis is already available. This means I need not to do that as well. I just have to read the meta-analysis and try it on myself, someone, and then extend it to rest of the people, right? So I did not do anything unusual. It is already there in medical science and medical journal. Only thing is I took that and I told you. That's all.
Okay. So another thing I would just like to ask: the raw tomato, right? Is it? No, I was just wondering because the highest the tomato, you get the full nutrition of it, which is the liponic acid. When it is cooked, like if raw, you don't get the maximum nutrition of it. So what is your comment on that?
Yeah, first of all, how much nutrition the body will absorb is a puzzle. We cannot decide. We will never know. It depends on thousands of factors, right? For example, first it goes to the stomach. How much will escape? How much will enter the bloodstream finally? That depends on at what time, about what mood you are having, what kind of blood is having, what kind of nutrition at that time. There are so many factors which decides how much of the nutrition the body has to discard at that particular time. It is never fixed that if you eat certain amount of food, certain amount will translate into nutrition will go inside. It will go in the stomach. From there, their journey is unpredictable, dependent on the metabolism, on thousands of principles which we cannot predict. Only thing is we made the food available to the body, let it decide how much and what it must have to take. The only thing here I want to say, when you give it in raw form, that is the best form body can utilize. For example, if you want to make a building, a raw brick, right? You don't get the walls, right? So raw form is needed, and that is what body is able to utilize. For example, sometimes kidney patient, they come to me, they say, doctor said, no, you cannot eat raw tomato, right? So, or coconut water. As in diabetes, you are barred from eating mangoes, right? Or that. So these are all myths. In reality, I've seen when the kidney patient come to me, if they keep on eating tomato, lot of tomato, 1 kg a day, slowly, not in one go, then they revive from the kidney damage very, very quickly, very quickly. Yeah, so, but then it is not just my experience, there are medical evidences as well. Not just medical evidences, mainstream medical evidence. Mainstream means top 5 or 10 medical journals. British Medical Journal, New England Journal of Medicine. Something which is being appreciated, approved and being referred by WHO and mainstream FDA, etc. So I'm talking of that also, only. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing that, you have to take the fruit before 12, right? All kind of fruit. Yeah. I was just wondering, are you aware that we do have a fruit called durian?
Yeah.
It
very
has,
sweet.
Yeah, very sweet. So I have patients that few times they had like very, how to say it, worsening of the retinopathy. The worst state is the vitreous hemorrhage. So they said that after taking the fruit, particular fruit, they had few episodes of that worsening where they will go almost blind because of that fruit. So does that fruit also include in the, because I do agree, mango you can take once in a while, but I'm afraid if the audience here will take, fruit, so I can whack my durian, so they'll go back home and, take, before 12 they'll whack the durian, and does it also include that?
Okay, so here, if I refer to that particular patient you're talking about, so there are two kind of patients. One is the extreme patient, right? Those who have really damaged their body or their eyes to a critical extent, number one. Number two, let's say if you take mango right now without changing your other food, this mango will be harmful to you, right? If you want to take mango right now, you have to change, you have to apply my other rules as well. Why? I'll give you one small example to make you understand and give the answer to your question. When you take milk, body takes about 18 hours to digest and metabolize. This means today you are taking milk, tomorrow morning it is still there and lying. Now when you take mango, so you are not taking it in empty stomach. I suggested you to take fruits in empty stomach, so that is the time when the body utilize it for its own benefit. So durian, that fruit, sweet fruit, also found in Vietnam, so I know about it. And I know that many of my patients, they already eat it because they like it, and very sweet, right? So you can take any quantity, but then you have to avoid those food which stay in the stomach for long time, 18 hours. Like animal food, when you take, it takes 18 to 22 hours for the body to sometime to get rid of it, right? So you, in the dinner you took the animal food, in the morning you take durian, then that will be harmful to the body because it is to be taken in empty stomach, and stomach is not empty although you did not eat for last 8 hours, right? So what you eat before, because many patients, they complain that I ate a banana or I ate mango and there is some stomach acidity. So they assume that fruit is the culprit. But fruit is not. It is the milk which was staying still yesterday and the fruit. Together they made the acid. And because of both the thing together, the body produces a contrasting kind of chemical, and that create a state which is we call a acidic state. So what you eat, that's why I say plate 1 and plate 2. So what you eat, when you eat, how much you eat, and how you eat very slowly, as I explained, all of them contribute to your health, right? Just saying you can eat durian or you cannot eat durian, it is a half understanding only. That's why I believe that you don't need medication, you just need education, right? A complete understanding as a whole, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for your kind advice. Yeah.
Thank you.
2 years ago, I was diagnosed with an enzyme deficiency. I'm lipase deficient. So with every meal, I have to take oral lipase tablets. So with the diet, do I still have to take my oral lipase, or can I just not take them?
One is, answer is no. You have to stop that, otherwise it will harm. And when you are on this diet, you are on a safer side, one. Number two, in addition to that, I always tell my diabetes type 1 patient or patient like you, avoid grains and rice, if possible, for the first 1 month, right? And you will see tremendous benefit. Tremendous benefit. Maybe only lentils will be okay for you once a day to maintain the blood sugar. Rest of the, and slowly you will also not need that, right? So, along with what I told you, for type 1 patient like you, avoid grains, avoid rice, 1. Number 2, plate 2, which I allowed for rest of us 2 times a day, if possible for next 1 month, make it 1 time a day only in the dinner, right? This means in the lunch as I also do, let it be plate 1 and very huge quantity, maybe about 500 grams for you, right? 500 grams of plate 1. If you do it from tomorrow, let's say you plan it from tomorrow you stop that medicine, and also insulin also you have to take very, very carefully, because unusually your blood sugar will be very normal, right? And insulin can take you to the hypoglycemic state, right? So rather than targeting 14 as your blood sugar normally, I ask my this kind of type 1, you target your blood sugar 14 to 16. 14 to 16. High blood sugar will not be dangerous. Low blood sugar will be dangerous in this case, right? So stop that and start this. And ignore plate 2 in lunch. Add more greens, I told you. Ignore rice and grains.
All right, thank you, doctor.
Doctor, I was wondering about spices, like they say for diabetics, Vendium is helpful. What about spices in this kind of diet? Like you say, Vendium, Indian
spices.
Spices.
So put it in plate 2. Plate 2.
Plate 2.
Yeah. Plate 1 should be raw, without any addition, any dressing, anything addition. Let it be natural state. Let it be vegetable. No mixing, no adulteration. Right? It can be a part of plate 2. Right? That's why I gave you flexibility of plate 2. Whatever experiment you want to do it in plate 2.
So you eat it raw?
Absolutely raw. And have a trust on, on the God. You'll find something which seems to be not very tasty, but within few days you'll find unusually it will be very tasty. Yes. Even people like me, I eat even potato raw. Right? I'm not saying that you should eat raw, but I'm just giving an example. Even potato in raw form, one can find tasty. If you give a chance to the brain to taste the natural taste of it. Right?
My brother is a follower of Ayurvedic, and he takes ghee every morning with honey. Okay, ghee. And you say animal products, ghee is part of animal products.
Yes,
well,
milk product.
Is it good?
Not good.
Not good.
Not required, not good. It is not doing any good to you, to your brother. Yes.
Okay, but he has been an ardent follower of
yes.
Organic ghee and things like that.
Yes. It's about faith also sometimes, but it is also faith. So I say that whether it is Ayurvedic or allopathic or homeopathic, why not let the food be the medicine? Why depend on something which is man-made medicine? And I suggest that you can suggest your brother to do this and give a body about 1 week. And then you see, in 1 week, if you see some improvement, substantial improvement, then you can carry on with this, which I'm sure you will see.
Okay, like in my case, touch wood, I've been pretty healthy. With all these diets that you have been mentioning, how will it benefit me? I mean, in the sense that if I strictly follow, should I be following it too?
Of course, yes. It is not just a diet to recover from disease. It is a diet which will help you to remain younger, to remain more energetic, and it will contribute to your health always. It is a preventive and curative diet both. This is something which is standard diet. It should be a standard diet for everybody, even a child, everybody. Right? Only the quantity that may change, the recipe may change a little bit, right? So rest of the things it should be followed by. For example, in my case, I follow it. I don't have any illness, but just I know there's the best diet on earth, so I'm following it. So similarly, you can do it. Only thing is you have a flexibility that sometimes you go for cheating more than other people. But for health, there's the best diet which everybody, including you, me, should follow.
One of the things that come to my mind when we go on this sort of diet, it definitely will be, strictly to the book, it will be very much more costly every meal. Yeah, because if you are going for organic, things like that. I just want to make it a concern for everybody that be careful about our Malaysian standards, since we are all in Malaysia, because many of the things that are labeled as organic, if you do a real test, they are not really organic. I have an authority on that because I had esophagus cancer in 2013 February, but 6 months later, without all the allopathy, nothing, no medicine, no chemo, no radiation. I got over it, and I did a lot of research with 2 months because I come from aerospace background. Everything is evidence-based. So I also want you to know that do your research on water, because I know of very special, highly strong vegetarian people who are very purists, but they still get heart attack. Yeah. And I think one of the major culprits in our country and also everywhere where government water is concerned, they are very detrimental to health. Filters are just something that to bluff away to get rid of the sediments, but not the real culprits in the water. So I went to Cameron Highlands, which is where we grow a lot of our tomatoes and everything else. The cherry tomatoes, the owner assured me that it is pesticide free, and I did a test back in the hotel. It is so high. So taking this raw diet, the next thing to look out for really is how you cleanse it. There are many ways. I'm not here to promote anything, so I don't want to talk anything about that. But just do your own research. There are many ways of getting the real raw food in proper form.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just taking raw food with poison into your system. I think this is one area very much overlooked, but it is part of the growing think tank thing of many people around. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I totally agree with what you say. First of all, it is a problem whenever I go to any country, whether it's Singapore or here also you see the major concern. Not only you pointed out, some other parts also pointed out in Vietnam, in India, wherever. It has been a common question. So, but there are two parts of it. One is the water. You will experience when you are in this food. This food is 90% water only, right? So you will not feel thirsty too much. First of all, you will not need water. For example, I don't drink much water. It's not that I don't want. I avoid drinking water. It's just that I don't feel thirsty because most of the food is water only. 70% tapped water. That's the mineral water. Along with that, I suggest somebody who is sick or having an infection like virus, dengue or Zika or this, right? You can see my full YouTube lecture on it. So if you are on coconut water for 3 days, every day it is equivalent to your body weight into 2, right? 70 kg into 2, how much? 140, 14 glass of coconut water for 3 days. Nothing else if you eat. And if you do this, the virus goes. Whatever may be the name of the H1N1 or dengue or Zika, whatever, right? So coconut water is the one thing. And vegetable fruit already having pure water, second thing. And yes, we should be concerned about the organic and the scam of organic, all those. We all should take some initiative. We all should have a brainstorm. And when we think too much about the solution, surely we'll find some solution. It may take some time. But till that time, as I've seen with my patients in last 10 years, they have been eating from the normal market. They buy the vegetable and fruits. In spite of it being having some fertilizer and pesticide, even then they are maintaining all of them a good health, right? So till the time we don't find the solution of exact purest food, let's rely on our local vegetable shop only, and we'll carry on with our search for a better option. With that, we come to the end, and hope that you enjoy. Right? Thank you. Thank you.
Just one clearance, please. You don't mind, yeah? Just one last. We spoke about cholesterol tablets, throw it off, and on one side have the doctor saying that if it's gone, you will go up double, and you goes up very fast. And cholesterol is actually also supposed to be a contributor for your heart attack and so on. So then sitting down there, I said, okay, I can stop that. Then maybe, as you say, mango in the morning. A lot of mango in the morning. That will prevent any blockages, right? So then we talk about plate 2 during dinner. Plate 2 during dinner. But then again, after that, I heard you say that if I take mango in the morning with dinner, taking something that lasts wider. So how do we blend this then?
In dinner, you're taking plate 1 as well.
Yeah, plate 1 as well.
So that helped in metabolizing the plate 2.
Okay.
That's why taking before.
Right.
So now
as long as I do that, then it's okay to take mango.
Yes.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Every morning, mango, banana, very...
Yes. And secondly, I told you to complete your dinner by 8 o'clock. So between 8 o'clock and next morning 8 o'clock, you're having breakfast. You're having more time.
So on days that I can't complete on 8 o'clock, which means that the next day I can't take mango.
No, you can still take mango. I just gave an example, but as long as you're taking a lot of vegetable, it will help to make a balance. Number one. Number two, if you keep on avoiding, if not completely eliminating, avoiding animal food, in spite of not taking cholesterol lowering drug, your cholesterol will be in the same level as you maintain it with the drugs, right? So you can say to the doctor, okay, I'm not taking medicine, but I maintain the cholesterol level. Ultimately, aim is to maintain cholesterol level from the doctor's point of view.
Right.
So I give a solution to it, that you do this diet without medicine, and after 1 week or even 10 days, right, you check your cholesterol level. If it is coming below 200 in total cholesterol, it's fine. Then not only you are safe from the point of conventional point of view, right? You are protected from the side effect of the medicine as well.
What's the ideal level I should be?
I already told there is nothing called ideal. It is just a hoax. But just to satisfy your mind and doctor's
It's always
mind.
the mind, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
First of all, we thank Dr. Biswaroop for his beautiful seminar and edifying words. So we thank you all so much for attending today's seminar. And many books that Doctor have actually written, 25 books on mind and body, and you can get all these books. It will be available soon from diabetes. All these are actually testimonies, and there's some Keel Without Pills, and you also have Borderless Doctors, Why Mortality Rate Drops When Doctors Go on Strike, Last Days of Diabetes, and The Heart Mafia. This is a very famous book, Heart Mafia, and also there's a recipe book to cure lifestyle diseases. So it's not available now, but if you give us your contact number through the feedback form, we will keep in touch with you. We will email to you when the books are available. And also there is a product. There is a product by Doctor as well. Simple product, something that is very easy to use. The tea, the special. Yes, the tea. But it's not available here now, but just give us your details and we will contact you, and the emails will be very helpful.
Thank you for supporting me, and I thank Doctor for coming here and give a beautiful talk. And I thank Brother Ivan. It is because of him I took up these things. Next, we plan to have it in Bukit Jalil. I hope if this cause is really beneficial, give me a good feedback so that many lives will be saved. You see, as it is in Malaysia, many are suffering and they're depending on these doctors and they don't know how to find healing. So we have a big, huge project here. So thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Brother Ivan, and thank you, everybody.
It's been an honor for me to say that I, as a medical doctor, to hear someone with an open mind against what the majority of the doctors are doing, because the same thing here also, I'm getting into a lot of trouble with the conventional doctors for promoting things like what you are promoting. Just to share with you that I'm also very much in favor of natural and nutritional methods in recovering, helping patients recover. So it is a delight to me to hear that somebody in Dr. Biswaroop, who is actually putting all that into practice and helping thousands of people. My motto is this: I did not become a doctor to be a legal, glorified drug pusher. All right, eh? So, of course, I don't go and tell my medical colleagues, you are a drug pusher, you're a drug pusher. It is up to them to reflect. But as far as I'm concerned, I did not go to medical school and have this aspiration to become a legal, glorified drug pusher. I want to become a healer. So today I hear another colleague, healing people, not drugging people. So I salute you. Thank you very much.